All right. Good morning, Truth Seeker. It's Monday, October 7th, 2019. Baseball games get underway in about 1 hour. We got 4 postseason games today. And the first one up is the Astros at the Rays. It's the only game I've decoded. So we'll decode the other three in real time. Some things that pop out about today's game. The 56 date numerology stands out because the name Zach Greinke equals 56, and it also reminds me that the Astros won their only World Series in their 56th season. Charlie Morton was a big part of that team, and now he plays for the Rays and is facing his old team. So there's definitely some symbolism here. Houston is a slight favorite on the road. The over-under's at 7.5. I'm assuming the public's going to pound the over the way the Astros have often put up runs. So, about the 56, the way the 56 could go against the Astros today is they could get their 56th loss. And I imagine if the Astros did lose today, they would win tomorrow. And I'm not sure that they are going to lose today. But if the Astros lose today, I'm pretty sure they would win the next game to win the series 3-1. Because again, Houston and 31, those numbers are so symbolic. Houston does have the 32 connection as well, but that 31, a lot more consistent than 32. Just like how many times this year did we document the Astros scoring 3 runs in the first inning? They won the last game of this series 3-1. Houston's 31 in the most pure cipher, so I'm just wondering, do they advance 3-1? That would add some more parity in the narrative with the Yankees. Because if they finish up their series today, it's going to give them a bigger advantage over the Yankees because they'll get the extra day of rest and get the pitching staff right. So, this is a typo. Houston is 5-4 versus the Rays for the season. Hold on. Let me make sure that's true. Shouldn't make a mistake here. Let me double check it. Houston Astros. This would be postseason and regular season. Let's see. Okay. In the regular season, they were 3-4. So yeah, they've won 2. So they are 5-4. That is correct. So they improved to 5-4 on the 54 date numerology. Date numerology is not going to help us out like that today. If the Rays lost today, they'd be 4-6 against Houston for the year. Houston, Texas is 46. Of course, today, game's not in Houston, Texas, but still, that's where the team comes from. And I think that stuff still matters. Just to make a point, Deshaun Watson yesterday picked up his 17th career win, right? And he did it against the team from Atlanta, Georgia, 59, the 17th prime. And it's not the first time we've looked at things like that, so anyway, I think the city-state connections carry with the team. The Astros are 24-36 versus the Rays in the regular season, and they are 2-0 in the postseason. So they're 26-36 all time. We like the Astros to start 2-0, which they did because it's a bit like 20 Astros is 20. So Houston won the first game 6-2. They won the second game 3-1. Here's the riddle for the Astros to close it out today. Again, Astros equals 20 in the most pure cipher. If the Rays lose today, they will get their 20th postseason loss all time. And, oh, hold on, we got a caller here. Caller?
Thanks, Charlie, to call in?
No, it's fine. What's up, man?
Oh, okay, cool. I just want to know if you got that article I sent you in the morning about Ovechkin throwing out the first pitch in Washington today.
I'm going to look at that. Okay, so the hockey star is throwing out the first pitch.
Yeah, check your text. I sent it to you bright and early in the morning.
Okay, I'll do that. All right.
Okay, brother.
All right, thanks, man. All right, so we'll hit that when we get to the next game. By the way, one of the big news stories today is one of those sports crossing stories. NBA faces backlash over Houston Rockets GM's tweet. Today leaves 85 days left in the year. Basketball equals 85. Big number there with the NBA. So remember this story about Houston, and I'm sure this has something to do with Yao Ming. That must be because the thing's over China. China's cut their ties with the Houston Rockets. So it's got to be Yao Ming related. I'm sure if we look at Yao Ming's birthday, it's probably sync with today. The gentle giant. Anyway, the Rays could get their 19th postseason loss today. Astros is 20. If they didn't get it today and they got another day, it's very possible. But today has the 20-date numerology as well. So that would be the sweep. The Astros are 41-49 in the postseason. If they won today, they'd get their 42nd win with Greinke on the mound. Greinke's 42. And the Astros' narrative to lose the series, they'd have to lose 3 in a row. I think that's rather unlikely. Again, before the All-Star break, we said the ALCS should be Yankees and Astros. So far, that's looking so good. But if the Astros drop 3 in a row, they'd get to 52 losses. Tampa Bay Rays is 52. So, again, Zach Greinke in the most pure cipher, 56, like the date numerology. His last name, 42. Again, Astros going for that 42nd win in the postseason all-time. The biggest thing going against Greinke is that he could fall to 1-4 in the NLDS. Tampa Bay Rays is 43, the 14th prime. So, it's one thing that could go the other way. Charlie Morton, his name's 70, like Tropicana Field, like Astros. Astros are probably going to close this thing out in Tropicana. I think if the Astros lose today, they will come back and win tomorrow. I don't see the series going past 3-1, honestly. And again, today's got the date numerology to close it out. Morton's got the 32 and 31 connection like Houston. So, I know it's Charlie Morton's upcoming birthday's in 36 days. His full name's 151, the 36th prime. Kind of interesting. Morton is 4-6 versus Houston for his career, regular season and postseason. If he lost, he would be 4-7 and Tampa Bay's 47. Also, if Morton lost in the postseason, he would fall to 3-3. Tampa Bay's 137, the 33rd prime. That was the same riddle with Garrett Cole, but to win, and Astros did win. Caller?
Zach, good morning.
Good morning.
Man, Mondays are always good when we have a good Sunday, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's right. Hey, man, so with this Astros game, man, I think this is probably the best line we're going to get for the Astros. I think they're like minus 132. So, like, it's not a great line, but it's a good line.
Sure, because it's right.
And what I was at first looking at the upset because of the 56 date numerology, but I think they're like trying to trick us to bet on the Rays because there's so much going for the Astros, and with that Zach Greinke riddle, his name equals 110. They get their 110th win on the season, and I think.
Oh, you're right about that. That's a great catch that they could get their 110th win of the season. I missed that.
Yeah, but his name also equals 56 too, so they can get their 56th loss, right? And that's why I was kind of going back and forth with this at first. But there's so much going for the Astros, like it has 29 date numerology, and they can get their 10th win. 10th win away against the Rays, and stay on 18. It has 18 day numerology today. So, and the 36 is sticking out too because they're 25-36 versus the Rays. So, there's a lot pointing that they're going to close this series out today.
Well, there's definitely more pointing in their favor today. The only thing that really goes against them is that 56 because you got the 56 date numerology too.
Right. Yeah, and it can go both ways because Zach Greinke does equal 110 and 56. But man, it's like, could the line be a trap bet too? Because it's like only minus 132. It's like, I don't know. They usually do favor the home teams though.
Well, here's ultimately what I was going to say. I am leaning Astros, but again, to me, it's like I imagine most people had a really great day yesterday. Again, just be patient for the great riddles. I wouldn't say that this is a great pick. I won't be surprised if the Astros win, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they lost. But again, if they lose, I'm pretty sure they'll close it out 3-1 tomorrow.
Yeah,
so,
and what I was thinking too with this is I think they close it out today, and I don't think they get their first loss until they get to the World Series.
Well, that's possible, but I'm not sure they're going to go through the Yankees. So
really.
I've been documenting all year all the stuff that's synced up with the Yankees in the start of the World Series. I mean, the Astros have a narrative, but the Yankees got way more rituals this year. And let's not forget who got their 57th win on the more symbolic date. It was the Yankees. They got it on July 5th.
That is true. Yeah, that is true.
And see the whole public right now. See the whole public. It's mind control. The whole public thinks that the Astros can't be beat, including my dad, who's the biggest Yankees fan in the world. And my dad, he usually gets wrong because he usually gets sucked into the mainstream narratives. And it's like the other year. My dad thought I was so wrong. He's like, "There's no way the Broncos are going to beat the Patriots, Zach. There's no way." And that was the year Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl. He was like, "No, you're gonna." He's like, "That's not going to be a good pick. There's no way." I was like, "Dad, it's all scripted. It doesn't matter if Peyton Manning sucks now." So, it's just like the narrative right now in the mainstream is the Astros are unbeatable.
Yeah, that's so true because that is my thinking too. I mean, they are pretty good, man. I mean,
but look at the Yankees, man. Look at the way they hit the ball. So they're, Anyway, if the Nationals get past the Dodgers, if that happens, I think that's the sign that the Astros are in. I think if the Dodgers win. Because we mapped out multiple scenarios that make sense for the Yankees to face teams in the NL this year. The only team I see the Astros facing in the World Series
is the Nationals.
Nationals because it's that skull and bones thing. So
I don't see the Dodgers losing today either. So I don't think the Nationals. I think they get eliminated today.
So. Look, man, if you're feeling the Astros narrative, it's there. There's more that stacks for the Astros today. It's just
I'm still riding on the Yankees Braves World Series. I mean, I already put that parlay in before the playoffs even started.
Did you see the Jimmy Carter thing I talked about yesterday?
I sure did.
I need to go over that right now in case anybody missed that because this is why this year though is a real mindfuck in baseball because you got the Bill Bidwell thing going on with the Cardinals and now you got the Jimmy Carter thing. For people who missed what happened to Jimmy Carter yesterday, all the news stories have him in a Braves cap. Notice Jimmy Carter equals 54 and 162 like baseball. Don't forget Major League Baseball is also 162. He was the 39th president. He just turned 95 years old. The Braves play in Cumberland 39. Yesterday, the Braves, who we liked, put up 3 runs in the 9th inning in a comeback win. And Braves equals 95, like Jimmy Carter's age. Supposedly yesterday he got stitches, which equals 31, like the score 3-1. And, also this news came on the day, leaving 86 days left in the earth, so I think Jimmy Carter's time is limited. But anyway, this is a clear baseball sink, especially since a lot of news sources put him out wearing the Braves cap. So I'm just going, God, again, Mark, who's no longer with us, his final World Series pick was Yankees-Braves.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
And so another thing, too, like, I don't know if you noticed this, but so they got Dallas Keuchel on the mound today pitching for him to close out the series. And the riddle that I was, looking through was all about Keuchel and the manager.
You're saying Keuchel's going to pitch today?
Yeah, Keuchel's pitching today.
I thought Greinke was pitching.
And today it's exactly 15 days.
Oh, Braves. Sorry, man. I forgot that for a second I thought Keuchel was still on the Astros. I was like, what? Oh, yeah, he's on the Braves now.
Yeah, and so it's also 15 days to the start of the World Series today. So I think, I think they close it out today because, Atlanta equals 15.
Okay, so, I'm going to do all the other games. But
and then, one little point about the Braves of why I'm so high on them too is because the World Series there's 47 for the National League, 47 titles, and 67 for the American League, right? And Atlanta equals 48.
That's true.
Braves equals 67. So I'm thinking that they go to the World Series and keep the American League at 67, and then they get their 48 for the National League.
Well, if they face the Yankees, I think that'll be an easy call because the Yankees staying on those 103 wins to me was the signal that if they're in the World Series, they're not winning it.
Yeah, so. I hope that works out because I put a nice little parlay in before the playoffs started.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just wanted to point that out about the Astros. I think that they close it out, and I think that Atlanta closes out today. And and probably the Dodgers too. What's up with the Dodgers? Both games that they won against the Nationals, the score was 10-4.
Well, who just got their 104th win on 10/4 and won 10-4?
Who was that?
The Yankees.
Oh,
Because remember, ever since that blackout on July 13th, that thing was synced with the Yankees and Dodgers. That's why this year's just been such a mindfuck. It's like, what are they trying to do, man? They're dropping so many riddles this year. So,
yeah. All right, man. I'll let you get back to it.
All right. Thanks, man. Okay, so I agree. More lines up for the Astros here. The thing that goes against the Astros is possible, though. They could pick up their 56th loss of the season. Today has 56 date numerology. They won the World Series in their 56th season. Charlie Morton was a big part of that. Charlie equals 56. Zach Greinke equals 56. If the Rays win, it's going to make the Yankees series more on a level playing field. Astros win this game statistically, because you get the extra day of rest. You get to set up your pitching roster, make things a lot better for the Astros. The Yankees would have a one-game disadvantage if the Rays closed out today and the Yankees didn't. So, again, Rays could get that 20th postseason loss. You got 20 date numerology. Astros 20. Zach Greinke 110. Astros can get their 110th win of the season. Greinke's got one thing that goes against him, is NLDS stats. Charlie Morton also has something that goes against him in a big way. He could become 4-7 versus Houston. And again, Tampa Bay's 47 where they're pitching today. Caller?
What's going on, Zach?
What's up, man?
Alright, so on this Tampa Bay game and Rays, I really like Astros. You see the 105 start time, kind of like 51 with Houston. And also, I noticed ESPN is not upgrading, I guess because it's the playoffs in the regular season. But if you combine them, Houston, because like the Braves went 99 and 66 yesterday. So I kind of think that too. But if you see Houston, Zach, if they win today, they'll get their 110th win, and Zach Greinke equals 110.
Exactly.
And also,
exactly.
And look, if they do it, it'd be like 110 and 55. And then if they play the Yankees next, it's like 1-1-1. You see what I'm saying? Their record would be 1-1-1 playing the first game.
Yeah, no, I hear all that. Are you saying you like the 110 and 55 because it's mathematical? 55's half of 110?
Right. And it's mathematical, and it points to New York Yankees.
Okay, I hear all that. I'm leaning Astros today. I'm just worried that the 56 thing could hit because again, you got the Astros won in the 50. They won the World Series in their 56th season, and Charlie Morton. I think Charlie Morton closed out the 56th World Series too. I think he was the last pitcher. He was on that Astros team, and Charlie equals 56. So does Zach Greinke. So that's just the one thing that's making me think that this game is not. It's definitely not a lock for the Astros. But
I think it's a lock, Zach, because then if you look at Tampa Bay, look at. Remember what I told y'all was the caller. If you could, because like the Braves did the 9966. Remember when you get the 3s and the 6s and the 9s, they all correspond. If Tampa Bay loses, look how it's the reflection. It's just so beautiful. They'll be 96 and 69.
Well, they have 97 wins though, right? Because they got the one in the wild card. But the 97, though, that's one thing that does make sense for the Rays to get closed out today, because if they stay on that 97, that's the 25th prime, and Tampa Bay's 25.
Right. I was thinking that 96 and 69, though. Right. I just think Houston does definitely close it out with that, like you said, with that mathematical, with those numbers pointing like that 110, 55. I think it's all Astros all day. That's just strong right there with the 105 start time.
Okay, well, two of you guys are big on it, and I do agree. If I had to make a pick, I'm taking the Astros too. It's just that 56 I worry about, man, because that 56 could be symbolic with Morton on the mound, but there's still a lot more there for Houston.
With that Zach Greinke equals 110, and they going for the 110, and then they playing the Yankees next. That's a lock, Zach. I mean, my intuition telling me to grab it. So
well, you've been doing great. You've been doing great. So
yeah, I'm finna do it with the 49ers tonight, man, and that's it. Even if the Dodgers, I'm going now because that game starts in like 40 minutes. So if you don't get it now, then you're gonna miss out. So
okay,
I'm about to go ahead and
okay. I just want to make sure you know that Zach Greinke does equal 56 as well.
Yep. I think that. I just like that 110. I really do, Zach. I wish you could just go on and with me and ride me, Zach. I believe the Astros gonna get it done today. It's just that 110-55. It's real beautiful. It's just real beautiful.
Sure. I'd say Astros definitely have the better narrative. So, and again, I trust your judgment. You've been on fire. So keep it up, man.
Yep. I'll let you get back to it.
All right. Take care, man.
All right.
I know sometimes you guys just want me to agree with what you're saying, but again, I want you guys to be cautious. Like, he's way up. I don't want him to go, super heavy on the Astros and then be like, damn, man, that 56 did come through. Because, again, there's symbolism to that number with the Astros and Charlie Morton. So, you throw that out, though, everything else points to Houston here. Date numerology backs up Houston in multiple ways. The 110th win with Greinke on the mound. Plus, Greinke's also 42, and the Astros can get their 42nd postseason win, too. So, I mean, there's even more in Greinke that lines up in their favor. All right, so Houston has the better riddle. The Rays upset narrative is with the 56. If Rays get closed out today, they will finish season with 97 total wins. And remember, ESPN's not factoring in postseason wins. So when you look and it says Rays 96, they got one win in the wild card over the Athletics, the 97 team. But if the Rays get closed out today, they'll finish with 97 total wins. That matters because 97, 25th prime, Tampa Bay equals 25. Caller?
Hey, what up, Zach?
What's up, man?
Hey, in the NFL, Melvin Gordon, he plays, but he doesn't do anything. It's kind of like the way they want to say, hey, we're the boss, the management, and, if we don't want to pay you, we don't pay you. So he's one of the best running backs, and he gets, he hardly makes an impact. They won the game, but, also, the Grudens. I said it. I called it. Jay Gruden, out of here.
I turned on ESPN and the stat was on the screen that he got fired with a big 49 on the screen. His 49th loss did him in. I was like, man, if people only knew Gematria. Washington 49, NFL 49.
Mm-hmm. So while his brother is winning, $100 million contract, he's his
right, the trade-off. Exactly.
You said it. Day and night, kind of. One is, succeeding, and the other one just got fired.
And, yep, that's exactly how it works. So, yeah.
Also, I was watching that side game, Kansas City Chiefs. In the pregame, they were talking about, and I said, oh, they had like this big drum with a KC. Oh, this gonna be, they're gonna prepare to ring this big a drum in honor of the Ring of Honor for Brian Waters. Chiefs. And then I just thought about USAC and said, oh, this doesn't look good for the Chiefs. And then and then with pre-game. Oh my God! So they elected Brian Waters. Halftime Ring of Honor. Which you know what that means.
Right. So did you take Colts to cover? We thought that was the smart decision. Colts to cover, I thought was the smartest play for that game.
And also one more other thing. Also, there was another ring ceremony. Will Smith was inducted into the Saints Ring of Honor. But get this though.
But he was dead, right? And I pointed that out. I said, yeah, they're doing that, but he's dead. It's different. So.
But even if that was the case, if you were blindly bet money, it would have been 1-1, but you still would have ended up in the plus side because they were a big favorite, the KC, to win at home.
Right.
So you still win, even if you ended up playing 1-1.
Right.
I played both teams on the money line.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all I got.
All right. Good work, Izzy. Keep it up. All right. Take care, man. Okay, so I haven't decoded the other games. The notes up here all have to be updated. These are the last game notes. So Atlanta is now 6-3 versus the Cardinals. I can't decide if these people here that leave comments like, I couldn't get anything out of your Braves notes. I'm like, how do you not get anything out of the Braves notes? I'm showing you all the 63. The game's 63 days. I'm putting the note here about... Oh, I guess I took out some of the notes. The top note in the other comment was how the line synced up with Mike Soroka, and that's been a good sign for teams. Anyway, I know a lot of people won big on the Braves yesterday, especially the guy who did the prop bet in the 9th inning. So Atlanta's now 6-3 versus the Cardinals this year and 3-1 away. You know what that means, right? They could close it out today. Braves equals 41. If Atlanta wins today in St. Louis, they'll be 4-1 away. Braves 41 after this Jimmy Carter thing yesterday. Also, here I'll get rid of. Well, maybe I'll keep the 63 up here so people remember the symbolism. I'll take off the bold. I guess I can get rid of Soroka. He's not pitching today. But if Cardinals lose today, they will be 3-7 versus Braves. Atlanta Braves equals 37. And the start time local's 2:07 p.m., but East Coast time where the Braves fans are is 3:07. So this is very possible that the Cardinals do get knocked out today. And all right, that's the so that's the first. So the head-to-head record definitely looks better for the Braves, and I'd say that start time looks more Braves related to me too. So I'm going to go back to the other thing. Caller made a good point about reading the date in reverse, or the time in reverse. Houston Astros is 51 in this game. It's starting at 1:05 local, like 1551. Houston Astros 51. Okay. So again, Braves could improve to 7-3 versus the Cardinals, which would make the Cardinals 3-7 versus the Braves. Atlanta Braves 37. And if the Braves do win and close it out today, they'll be 4-1 away. Braves 41. So, what was the score at Game 3 the other day? It was 3-1. Duh. The score was 3-1, right? Stitch is 31. All right. So. And you guys, I was starting to think more about the death of Bill Bidwell, just because the Cardinals improved to 1-3-1 yesterday. Championship equals 131. Super Bowl equals 131 too. I don't see the Cardinals going to the Super Bowl, but again, even though I'm saying things line up here through the head-to-head, we still have a lot more to decode. St. Louis, man, they still got some really interesting riddles too. And again, the Arizona Cardinals used to be the St. Louis Cardinals. We just saw the death of Bill Bidwell 63 days after his birthday. Cardinals 63. Is the Braves pitcher seriously still not known today? Oh, it's Keuchel. Okay. All right, let me get an updated one in here with Keuchel's information. St. Louis is... Ooh, the line's negative 120. Atlanta's 120. If the Cardinals get eliminated today, they're going to get their 120th postseason loss. So... And if the Braves do advance today, remember, they went through the only team with the 115 connection. So, St. Louis... Caller?
Hey, I was just calling to ask, what do you think of the possibility of there being 4 closeouts today?
In baseball?
Yeah, for all the series to close out. Because out of 27, 30 times when the team's been up 1-2, they closed out. But there's been 18 sweeps so far. So if there's 2 more sweeps, then that'll be 20. I guess you know what? I take that back. I got confused on the numbers.
Okay, it happens. Well, if the Nationals get closed out today, we know a big number with the Nationals is 107. Their season could end on 10/7. And I suspect that the Nationals and Twins do the same thing today. Both these teams, because again, in history, the Minnesota Twins were once the Washington Senators. And again, I think it's very interesting that these two teams are playing the Dodgers and Yankees because they had that strong riddle for a World Series match with the Blackouts. So
Right. And then the Dodgers and Nationals facing each other is a rematch from last year.
Right. Yep, that's true too. So. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll continue listening. Thanks, Zach.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Take care. All right, but yeah, here I got a lot more decoding to do. I got to go through these games, so I got to get everything updated here. All right, so Braves through the head-to-head look strong through the head-to-head, but we got to look at the other variables here. So Atlanta's now 6-11 versus St. Louis in the postseason. I know I did point out this note yesterday. So Atlanta did get their 6th win on. Well, I guess today they could get their 7th win on the 7th of October, huh? That'd be their 7th win versus St. Louis in the postseason. I pointed out how if they split yesterday's game and today's game, it would go back to SunTrust Park with the Cards leading 12-6 in the postseason, and SunTrust Park equals 126. So, all right, if Cards win... So that's something to think about. That's a narrative for the Cardinals. I don't believe either team has a 117 connection. Let me check. The Atlanta Braves. That line's at 120. If it goes back to Atlanta, man, that I'm not even going to try to call that game because Atlanta Braves is 136. Just I don't know what to do now between the Jimmy Carter thing and this year, man. This year in baseball is just something else. Okay, let me see. Oh, yeah. St. Louis. Anybody got a 117? No 117s. Caller?
Hey, Zach, this may be a little abstract, but if Atlanta wins, it'd be 7-11, like reverse of 117. Dodgers is 117.
That is true. That's who they would play next.
Yeah, a little abstract, but I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Well, I don't think it's actually that abstract, man. I mean, that's often the way the riddles are because it's all a web, so...
Yeah, and once that line changed to 120, it's like, dude, this is a dead giveaway. You know, Keuchel's on the mound. I think the riddle for the Astros this year is through Keuchel with that trade, you know, so...
And again, Atlanta equals 120, and if the Cardinals lose, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to get their 120th postseason loss. You have to update this. Today would be the 120th loss.
Yeah, and so the Cardinals would finish with 74 losses, too, on the season. Yeah, it's just
St. Louis,
too much sense.
St. Louis 74.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, good observations. Okay. So, yeah, that's a good point. They would go on to, well, I guess we don't know for sure that they'd go on to face the Dodgers. The Nationals are still alive, but I'll make that note here. If Atlanta closes out, St. Louis will fall to 11-7, and Atlanta could face Dodgers next. Dodgers equals 117. And remember, that's the big thing with the Yankees and the Dodgers. It's the Yankees' 117th season. And if they won the pennant, they'd get their 41st pennant. LA's 41. So, and then I have to go back and look at my notes. We talked about it months ago around the All-Star break when we were laying out the playoff scenarios. The Yankees and Dodgers had a few different syncs with their all-time head-to-head record in the World Series, too. I got to go back and verify it. All right, so anyway, that is a good point. The Cardinals' narrative is to send it back to SunTrust Park 12-6, which is possible. The Braves, so they're now 81-90 in the postseason, and St. Louis is now 131-119. Did I put that note up here about the line? If St. Louis loses today, they will get their 120th postseason loss. Okay. All right, I got to get the pitcher information. Here, I'm just going to delete all this. This is last game's pitchers. Here, let me just plug in the manager stuff. So Schilt is now 1-2 in the postseason. And today would be 59 days, 60. Snitker is now 3-4 in the postseason. Okay, so where does he go from there? George is 44. I don't think the other numbers really connect today. All right, let's see. Again, the Cardinals, they still have life because they're the only team with the 115 connection. It's the 115th World Series, and Game 7 of the World Series is 11 weeks and 5 days after the Cardinals manager's birthday, which is really interesting. If the Cardinals did make it, I'd bank on that series going Game 7 with that kind of alignment. All right, so let's get our pitcher information in here and see if it lines up even more for the Braves. If the pitchers tell us Braves, I think the Cardinals are in real big trouble because that head-to-head record looks like they got something coming for them. Let's see. Dallas Keuchel. All right. His birthday is January 1st. So it's 279 days after his birthday, 280th day of his age. Let's see. All right, just looking at those numbers. Dallas is 41 like Atlanta. Or not like Atlanta, like Braves. So draw attention to that. Dallas equals 41. Braves equals 41. If Braves win today, they will be 4-1 in St. Louis for the season. Okay, so that stands out. And all right. Keuchel hasn't pitched yet this postseason, I don't believe. Or no, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. He lost game 1. Oh, yeah, that's right. He lost game 1. Okay, never mind. All right, so that means for the year... What happened here? For the year, he is 8-9 then. Atlanta Braves equals 89. All right, Keuchel is 8-9 for season. Wait, does Atlanta Braves equal 89? I'm pretty sure it does. Pretty sure Dodgers and Braves both equal 89. Yeah, because I remember the Braves lost. That's the only postseason game I've gotten wrong so far. Thinking it was a little bit better for the Braves that day, but they lost that one. Keuchel is 8-9 for season. Atlanta Braves equals 89. Keuchel is... Remember, these career stats don't include the postseason. Is 84-71 in regular season, and then you got to get his postseason stats. He's 4-2 in the postseason. Man, St. Louis is 43. It's also 25 the reflection. This is exactly what came up the discrepancy the first time. Keuchel is 4-2 in postseason. So that means for his career he's 88-73. Could get his 89th career win. So Keuchel is 88-73 combined. Atlanta Braves equals 89. And he wouldn't necessarily have to get that today, right? He could get his 74th loss in St. Louis. So there's a couple things that could go there. He's 0-0 in the NLDS, 1.93 ERA. Let's see what he is away. Pitching in the postseason. So we got a win here. A loss here, a loss here. So he's 1-2 in the postseason away. And then again, that's kind of tricky because Braves is 22 if he improved to 2-2, but Braves is also 41 the 13th prime. So I'd say the biggest concern here is Keuchel could get his 74th all-time loss. St. Louis is 74. He did lose game 1. We still got to look at the other pitcher. Let me make sure 279 is not prime since it's 279 days after his birthday. Let me double check it doesn't connect to either team as well. Atlanta Braves. Atlanta, St. Louis. 279 doesn't look like it. Check the managers. Today's Dave Roberts' 130th day of his age. Washington's 130. We haven't got to that game yet. All right, so Keuchel, he's facing Hudson. All right, let's get Hudson's information here. Hudson, Dakota, Hudson. Dakota Hudson's 43 like St. Louis. Keuchel could... I didn't finish writing that note, did I? St. Louis equals 25 and 43. All right, Hudson. All right, what's his birthday? September 15th, so it's at 22 days after his birthday. Braves 22. All right, 22 days after his birthday. So usually that's a good sign for the team it points to. So I'd say, if anything, that's advantage Braves, that it's 22 days after his birthday. And let's see. Has he pitched yet this year in the postseason? Pitched game 1? I can't remember. Wait, maybe he hasn't pitched yet. Okay, he hasn't pitched yet in the postseason, so yeah, all right. It's gonna be his first postseason game. Hudson is 16-7 for a season. Hudson is 20-8 for a career. Is that what I just saw? And let's see what he's done against the Braves. I forgot to get the splits for Keuchel versus St. Louis. Hudson is 11-2 at home. And did I see any 1-1-3s? Dallas is 1-1-3 who he's facing. Like how Rogers got his 113th career win yesterday in Dallas. Did you guys see how the money evened out for that Cowboys game? It was almost 50-50 by game time. So you can watch that pregame. I was thinking even though the money was heavy, that was still just one where they were going to pay out. It just looked too good for Rogers. Hudson, let's see. All right, so he could become 11-3 at home facing Dallas. And let's see. Braves. 0-0 versus the Braves. 1 start, 3.38 ERA. Not bad. Make sure his record St. Louis is the same thing. Okay. Let me go back and get Keuchel splits versus St. Louis. Make sure he hasn't faced him in the postseason, too. I don't think he has. Or wait. The first game of the series he did. Never mind. So I think he has one start against St. Louis in the postseason. Yeah. He didn't get the decision, but his team lost. Caller?
Hello, Zach.
Hi.
Good morning. Hey, on this Dallas Keuchel win and loss record in the playoffs on that October the 3rd game, he started the game, but he left the game when it was tied 1-1, so he was a no decision.
Right.
So I just want to make sure you had that right there.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't plug in any losses for that. I just looked at that, but yeah, you called in right as I was going to his game log against that game. So he got a no decision. So I just want to see what he is for his career. So he's 0-2 against the Cardinals for his career. So he's still looking for that first win against them. All right, but yeah.
Okay then.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, man.
Okay, bye.
All right, see you. Okay. So if Keuchel did get a win, he'd be 1-2 against St. Louis. And remember, Atlanta Braves equals 37, the 12th prime, kind of like 1-2. So Keuchel is 0-2 versus Cardinals for career. Atlanta Braves equals 37, the 12th prime. Just making sure. Snickers on 322 career wins right now. The Braves manager, regular season and postseason. That's interesting. 322, that number. 322. The Jimmy Carter thing yesterday. The Bill Bidwell thing on October 2nd. Wait, what was I just thinking with 102? Schilt's next loss. The Cardinals manager's 102. Bill Bidwell died October 2nd. Okay, so let's take it from the top again. The head-to-head is very incriminating for the Cardinals today. If the Braves win, the Cardinals will fall to 3-7 versus the Atlanta Braves this year. Atlanta Braves is 37. All right, I got to play devil's advocate. 37 is more important, but if you use the rule for S, it's 46 as well. So there is a chance at 4-6. But remember that start time is 3:07 Eastern, where the Braves are. It's 2:07 local because the game's in St. Louis, but I think that 3:07 still plays since that's Atlanta time. So the 37 is definitely the more potent number. But also, if the Braves win, they'd be 4-1 away against St. Louis this year, and Braves is 41. So the two more potent numbers, 37 and 41 for the head-to-head, go for the Braves. The best thing for the Cardinals, the best scenario is for them to even it up, or not even it up, but to, well, actually that would even up the series, wouldn't it? It'd make the series 2-2 and Braves is 22. But if the Cardinals won today, for the all-time postseason record, they'd be 12-6 against Atlanta. 12-6, kind of like 126, and that would send the series back to Atlanta, where SunTrust Park's 126. And if that happens, you know, I'd have to say if that did happen, the advantage would probably be to St. Louis, because Atlanta Braves equals 136, and they love to punk people on their home field. So that'd be heartbreaking. It happens in the playoffs, losing the 2-1 lead, losing the series. So, but for the immediate head-to-head record, definitely looks better for Atlanta today. The start time, I would say, factors into that. And best case scenario in the head-to-head records is through the postseason for St. Louis. But we pointed out if Atlanta did win today, St. Louis would become 11-7 versus the Braves. Dodgers is 117, and whoever wins this series very well could play the Dodgers. So, but again, just because so many riddles have been dropped, I've just never seen so many riddles, man. This baseball season is just like, it's had me pulling my hair out all year. Because, I mean, Bill Bidwell, Jimmy Carter, the whole skull and bones thing, it's just like, oh my God. What are they doing? Again, the line today, -120 for St. Louis. So St. Louis is the favorite, but what stands out about that is Atlanta equals 120, and if St. Louis does get eliminated today, they're going to get their 120th postseason loss all time. You know what else? They'd stay on 131 wins, and Atlanta, Georgia's 131. So that's one other thing to consider. If St. Louis did not win, they would finish this postseason with 131 all-time wins. So let me make sure I'm not missing some 132 connection. Talked about how if the Cardinals won this weekend, which they did in football, NFL Cardinals, they'd face Atlanta 1-3-1, Atlanta, Georgia 131. Those streaks at 8 hit again in football this week. They were flawless. If you wrote all the streaks at 8, you hit with the Cardinals, the Broncos, and the Seahawks. All underdogs, too. Or no. The Seahawks were a 1.5-point favorite. I take it back. Okay, so I would say through the information we've covered so far, advantage Atlanta. But still, it's not a one-way street. It's where exercising patience can be a great thing. So, Dallas equals 113 and 41. Remember, Braves 41. The Braves could improve to 4-1 away with the Dallas Keuchel win. Hey, let's look at what day the Braves signed Dallas Keuchel, because that could be crucial information. $13 million. Braves 41, the 13th prime. Dallas 13. That happened June 6th. 6-6. So let's see how that lines up with today, for example, because today could be a symbolic day for him. It's 123 days later, or a span of 124. What day does the World Series start anyway? 138 days, or a span of 139. It's his 124th day of being on the team, and Keuchel's 124. So there is a 124 thing. Today is Keuchel's 124th day of being a Brave. Keuchel equals 124. Yeah, I just want to make sure. So it looks like first publishing was June 6th. Some people covered it June 7th, the day after. June 6th looks to be the right day, though. Yep. Okay. Let me make sure there's not some other... I want to see if the Astros have a connection to that number, since he was on the Astros before. And it made Parks got the 2-2-3. Let me look at June 6th too, just see if there's anything to that date, June 6th. 157th day of the year, which is the 37th prime. Atlanta Braves 37. Caller?
Hey, good morning, Zach.
Good morning.
Hey, man, I just tuned in about 10 or 15 minutes ago. Do you like Houston today in the early game?
So what I said is a lot more lines up for Houston. The devil's advocate narrative is today has 56 date numerology. They could get their 56th loss of the season. They won the World Series in their 56th season with Charlie Morton on that team, who's pitching against them. Charlie equals 56. So does Zach Greinke. So the 56 narrative is there for the Rays to upset today. But outside of that, there's more that lines up for the Astros. Today has 20 date numerology. Astros equals 20. The Rays can get their 20th all-time postseason loss. Zach Greinke also equals 110. He can get the Astros their 110th win of the season. And Greinke equals 42. He could also get the Astros their 42nd postseason win all-time. Let me see. What else
I
was
know
it?
from the other day you were liking the Yankees. I don't know if you looked at the game yet, but you like the Yankees to sweep, right?
Because they can become 16-2. I haven't finished the decode because I'm going through it real time here.
So throw a quick cheap parlay in, but I'm trying to find out of those 4 games, they're not all going to chalk out. So at least one of these 4 games, very confident one of them will be an underdog. So I'm looking at it right now.
Well, that's why. Yeah, it's possible it could be this. Moore does line up for the Astros, but if the Astros lose today, I think they'll definitely close out the next game and win 3-1, because that's been the Astros number all year's 31. And that's what I was saying to people in the beginning. I said, yeah, a lot more does line up for the Astros today, but it's just like 31's been so big for them this year, it would be symbolic for them to win the series 3-1. However, Charlie Morton, who's on the mound today, the former Astro who pitches for the Rays now, if he loses, his postseason record's going to look perfect. He'd be 3-3 in the postseason, just like Garrett Cole just did the 3-3 thing against Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay's 137, the 33rd prime. If he did win, he'd be 4-2, and Greinke's 42. But if he lost, he'd also be 4-7 versus Houston, and Tampa Bay's 47. Tampa Bay would also finish their season with 97 wins if they got closed out today, the 25th prime, and Tampa Bay's also 25. So again, a lot more lines up for Houston. But I'm still looking at that 56, and I'm just going. If you take together a parlay, I wouldn't go heavy on it. But I am leaning Houston, but still, it's just that 56. It makes me go. So.
What about that Dodgers game, man? That Dodgers National game on the surface.
Well, if the Washington Nationals get knocked out, what's today?
Oh, 1-0.
Right, their season could end on 107, and Washington Nationals, that's been a big number for them all year. If
the Dodgers are underdogs today because they got Scherzer on the mound.
Okay, today's Dave Roberts' 130th day of his age, and my notes on the screen are not updated yet, but I know there's something about 130. The Dodgers would have to lose this postseason to get to 130 losses because Washington's 130.
Really? Sure, the Nationals on my side are minus 130.
That is what it's showing the line at, negative 130. Washington's 130. Today's Dave Roberts' 130th day of his age. So
that looking at it on that respect, I mean, it looked good for the Nationals, right?
Let me think about it. This game's starting at 3:40 local. What's that connect to? I want to do more homework on this one here, but I imagine that the Twins and Yankees moved together today because the Washington Senators became the Minnesota Twins. So I think those games are going to do. I have a feeling those games are going to be the same outcome. Either the Nationals and Twins both win or they both lose. So.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because they had some major parallels. Remember? Do you remember when Minnesota and Washington played each other this year? How it was that perfect ritual of numbers, everything lined up, and I was like, yeah. And those teams have history because they share the same cities. So I'll go back and look at that.
Maybe I'll sit out on this, man. I don't know. It looks tricky on that.
Yeah, maybe just cool it off. Cool it on the Astros-Rays game if you want to put together a parlay, and let me finish the decode, and maybe we can figure out these last 3 games for a parlay. So.
No worries. Hey, man, look in your PayPal this afternoon. I'm gonna throw a little tip in there. Had a good day yesterday.
Hey, that UFC fight that you're waiting on for your huge payout. What did you see in that? I haven't done any work on that.
Say that again.
I know that you have a parlay that's alive. You just need the UFC fight to come through, right?
No, it already went through, man.
Oh, so you won on that thing.
Yeah. I had that Saturday. Remember I told you these UCF fights? I've been finding a few, 2 to 3 good fights, sometimes a couple more. There's usually from 12 to 14, 15 fights. There's usually a few of them that just really stick out. There was a prime number relationship with that. I think that Saturday had 27 date numerology, and the favorite, he ended up going to 10-3, 103.27 prime, so that guy was plus 260. Yeah, that's already through, man.
Awesome, man. So your $25, then it hit for the $2,500?
The $25 parlay paid $2,700, and then the game went to plus 140 for the Chiefs on the money line. So I during that game, when it got down towards the end of the fourth quarter, I put $300 to win $420 on the Chiefs, so I still came out $2,400 on the bet. You know what I mean?
I see you did it in insurance. Okay.
And plus, I won $700 on other parlays that you have for football. So, I mean, I used those fighters with the stuff I did, your football picks. And then the Raiders, I hit my other parlays. I was kicking myself. I was trying to get in on the Dodgers at 2-0, and I didn't get in on. Then I saw the score, and then that Islanders game looked good when I waited too long on that. But it was a really good day, man.
So you won over 3,000 yesterday. Nice, man. I bet you the trolls aren't going to post that in the comments. So
I sent the picture because the fucking asshole kept saying on there, he kept saying, oh, you probably hit the Titans in your parlay or whatever. But, it's like, nah, I was waiting on the Colts. I already had Denver already went through, so I was waiting on the Colts.
Yeah, man, awesome. 25 won 2,700. Beautiful.
25 won 27, and that's what's so powerful about this. Even the weeks where I'm off, I'm just missing on some of these, but like last night, I was still guaranteed to win $400 if the Colts won. Because you just go in and it's your bet. It's a smart thing to do. Like either way, it was a very cool day, so it ended up hitting me big yesterday.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, and good work on that UFC fight.
Hey, yeah, thanks for everything, man. I appreciate it, guy.
All right, take care, man. See you.
You see it. Bye-bye.
Yeah, he had like a 6 parlay with one UFC fight. He showed me the thing, and I knew all he needed was the Colts to win last night because he texted it to me before the thing. But yeah, $25. I thought it was $2,500. He said $2,700. So anyway, awesome. Yeah, bookies hate us, man. So anyway, this game to me is a lot like the first game we looked at. The Astros and Rays game looks a lot like the Braves and Cardinals game. A lot more lining up for the visiting team here, and but there's just there's a narrative on each side that makes you go, okay, well, so caller.
Zach, just to put those bastards to sleep, those trolls that are out there, those mother flowers. 1 over 1,000. So this is Adam Lastman. I sent you. You got my PayPal, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I sent it to you.
Thank you very much.
I sent it Saturday night. But yeah, 1 over 1,000. So fuck the trolls. They're just a bunch of you know what.
Yeah, they sure are. All right, man.
All right, bro. Later.
All right, take care. Yeah, those trolls are the worst, man. And you know what? You guys, the trolls are the alphabet agency. One of the trolls sometimes leaves comments that are like personal stuff that nobody knows. That anybody could ever access is just like me and one other person. So I know that they're government, because only government can get information like that. The trolls here are the feds. So, I mean, that's the reality of my situation, you guys. I've had the feds fucking with me since 2014. 2014 I've had the feds fucking with me. So, that's what happens when you expose all their bullshit. So, fuck you, feds. Enjoy your coffee. Anyway. Things do look better for the Braves in this one, but again, if you had a big day yesterday, okay, I just want to pause for a minute and talk about not being greedy. If you guys are rolling and making lots of money, you don't have to go every single day. Remember, it's okay to take a day off. There's a gentleman who calls in. He hasn't called in for the last week. You'd recognize his voice if he called in. He got way up. He'd never been so far up, but last week he gave almost all of it back. Last week he was just making the wrong choices, It started with it. He got greedy on the Jets, right? He went huge on the Jets to win instead of taking them to cover. And then he lost on that, so he wanted to get it back. And then he went big on the Bengals beating the Steelers. And, I mean, it did look like a little bit more was there for the Bengals, but again, that game was dangerous. So it's just like, I mean, don't give your money back to the casinos. The casinos know the mentality of a gambler. They know they want to go bigger, and a lot of gamblers get greedier and greedier, and they win big, and then they bet bigger. That's why I'm always saying be the tortoise. Give yourself a budget each day to bet. If you lose, then you lost your money for that day. But if you just stay with the plan, you're going to continue to build. Don't think, okay, I made $5,000 this week, so now this week I'm going to be putting $5,000 on the table. Nope, that's how the casino gets all the money back. Do not do that. Don't give back everything in a few days that you earned over the last 2 months. You know what I mean? Just stick with the plan. Think like, okay, I did this over the last 2 months. Over the next 2 months, let's try to do the same thing. So, and if the gentleman's out there, man, I feel really bad. So, but he'll get it back if he just stays with the plan, you know. And again, like the last caller, he bet 25 and made almost 3,000. And he did make over 3,000 yesterday off his other bets too, and he didn't bet a lot of money. He didn't have to put 3,000 out there to win 3,000. So, and Douglas, if you're out there, man, you got to, Douglas, who leaves a lot of comments, who I like and who's followed this work for years, Douglas, why do you keep ruining your parlays by putting every team in there? I feel bad that I put the Titans pick out, but I mean, if you listen to my words, the Titans weren't a strong pick. You would have, because Douglas every week is like, man, I would have won all this money, but I lost on this team. And I'm just like, okay, but why did you put every game in there? You don't have to make every parlay 6, 8, 7 teams. Do some parlays with 2 and 3 teams. You know, and then put $5 on the one with the whole bunch of teams. It was my fault for throwing Titans in there, but I explained that the Titans, there wasn't a lot behind it. I was just going off the hunch that they were going to go into Denver 3-2. I shouldn't have done that. That was the mistake of the week. But that also shouldn't have been the game that ruined your day. I mean, you should have had a great day. So, anyway, I just got to get those lecture points out there before we go on to the next game. And the other thing I'm trying to say is, you know, the riddles come where just like it looks like a one-way street. Those first 2 games, there's a strong lean one way, but they're not one-way streets. You're patient, you wait for those one-way streets. You know, those, and honestly, if a game has a good lean and isn't a great payout, I mean, you have to decide. It's like, well, is that worth it? I mean, if it was an upset narrative with a huge payout, I'd be, you know, like for example, if the Braves were a huge payout today, and this was the riddle, I'd be like, yeah, you got to take that risk because there's a good riddle there and it pays out big. It's worth the risk. Same with the Astros, but these aren't the games that are amazing payouts. So. Both those teams do have the better narratives, but again, they're not one-way streets. The Cleveland Browns last weekend was a one-way street. The Saints yesterday were a one-way street. You know, to me, the Patriots yesterday were a one-way street. So, when I say one-way street, I mean all the riddles stack on one side, and there's nothing on the other side that's even really making me blink. Okay. Dodgers and Nationals. So, let me get everything updated. So, Washington is now 4. Well, no. Yeah, 4-6 versus the Dodgers, including the postseason. So, that's tricky because they just lost at home yesterday. So, they're 1-3 at home. Okay, so here's 2 things to consider. Washington, D.C.'s 56. So if Washington won today, they'd be 5-6. But D.C. is 47. I've seen more of the 56 hitting this year than the 47 with the Nationals. But if the Nationals lost, they would be 1-4 at home. And LA is 14. It's 13-14, so that's possible. All right, the score of yesterday's game. What was yesterday's score? Astros are up early right off the bat. What'd they do? Hit a home run? Must have been 1 run, 1 hit. Altuve with the home run. Here, let's just see how things line up with Altuve's birthday. Caller?
Hey, Zach, I'm calling back. I just want to let you know I'm following up on what you just were advising all the folks. My wife and I have been with you now going on our 2nd year, and I've already learned, I think, so for the 2nd year now, I think I may have hit like 1 or I think maybe 2 7-team parlays. But where I make my money is on the 3 and 4 team parlays. That's where I hit consistently is on the 3 and 4 team parlays. That's where it's at.
Exactly. And I just want to make a point, not to interrupt you, but because see what happens is people plug in 7 teams and they're like, wow, my $10 will be $2,000 if all these teams hit. But you know what? Go back and look. Your $10 could be $80 if those 3 teams hit, or maybe even $100, or maybe even more than that. And if those are going to hit at a way higher percentage, I bet you after 20 days of doing those, you'd probably have accumulated, over $1,000, whereas barely missing on all those 17 parlays, you're probably break even, or so. Yeah. Anyway, you're right on. Go ahead.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what I found to be best for me, like the 3-4 team parlays, and then if you do some live betting, you can do a 3-team parlay. Maybe invest a little more money, like $24 or $30, and then you can hit $250 or something like that. It just depends on the games and the day. And then also, I've also been able to win quite a bit of money on you with the golf. So
I got to get back to golf, man.
You got to pick your point. You got to pick your moments. You know what I mean?
Indeed, exactly.
So,
you got to be smart. You got to be the tortoise. Not go for the $1 million every day. Say, you know what? My goal is to win $100 today.
Exactly. Because when I got started, I did try it. Like in football, the NFL, I would try 9-team parlays, and then just like what's happening with these other guys out there, 9-team parlays. Darn, I hit 8 but missed 1. But it happens so many times where you hit 7, miss 1, you hit 8, you miss 1. So I dropped back to the 3 and 4-team parlays, and that's the way it's been working for me. So
exactly.
I just wanted to call in.
Exactly, and that's exactly how to do it. Because yesterday we saw some real strong games. The Saints look strong. The Raiders look strong. The Patriots look strong. So there's your 3 teams, right? And now you can mix in those parlay multipliers. You can do one with the Broncos for a 4-team parlay. You can do one with the Colts. You could have thrown one in there for the Jets. Obviously, that wouldn't have win, but if it did hit, man, it would have been a great parlay. So
yeah, and plus with the season being so young, we've had so many teams with new quarterbacks and personnel changes. You don't really know what these teams are about until after you get a little further into the season.
Right.
So when you don't really know what these NFL teams are all about with all the personnel changes and new quarterbacks, and it takes a little time to see how these teams shake out and see where they fall out amongst each other. Anyway, I just want to call in and let you know that what you advised your folks a moment ago is spot on. So right. I'm going to let you go and continue.
All right, yeah, and thank you for calling in and sharing your story. I appreciate that.
Okay, thanks.
All right, take care, man. Hey, look at Altuve, who just hit the leadoff home. Well, it wasn't a leadoff, but his first at-bat he hit home run. It's 154 days after his birthday. Huge baseball number. Again, the original baseball schedule was 154 games. Double day equals 154. That's who American baseball is credited to, the Freemason Abner Doubleday. And don't forget the other year, 2 years ago on June 3rd, which is the 154th day of the year, that's the day that MLB set a new record, most grand slams in a single day. And it was June 3rd, right? 6-3, Major League 63, Major League Baseball 63. That's something I realized that needs to happen, you guys. This company that I've hired, they're expensive to build these websites, but they have very good skills and very good security procedures, and I can even hire them to manage trolling and everything. I really would like those of you guys who are rolling to invest more into this work, and I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. If you invest more in this work, you're going to see the return, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to hire this company and people to help out more. What we need to do is build a database like Mark was building. I feel so bad about Mark, man. Mark made a big mistake because Mark could have been a huge. He made a huge contribution, but we need to build better tools. What I realize needs to happen is for like every sports team is we need to have every player in a database, and just every day when we refresh the screen, it shows us all the information we need to know. How many days it is from their birthday. Imagine how easy that would be for fantasy football. And you open up the NFL roster, and instead of decoding it each day and taking all the time, because that's the only way I know how to do it, because I don't have the technical skills, so I have to grunt through it. But if we had a database that opened up, and just imagine for every sport, imagine we open up and we see today's Altuve, it's 154 days after his birthday. We're like, oh, that's a big baseball ritual number right there. You know what I mean? Because for me to decode every single player every single day, it's like I'm still operating in the Stone Age is really the way I do this. if we build a system that just has everything for us there and all we have to do is plug in the thing and then each day it tracks it for us and we can just scan the data, imagine like you open up a baseball roster and you see that like a whole bunch of players have an awesome sync for that day. You're like, okay, that team's got to roll today. I mean, they're going to put up some runs. Caller?
Hey, Zach, that's a good idea. What you're talking about, good idea. It's a real good thing. Everybody a lot. You know what I'm saying? What you want to do. That's pretty good right there, though.
Yeah, these are the things that need to happen because this is how we're going to take it to the next level. So,
hey, real quick, a question for you. Let's see. The book. I'll talk your book. How your book is, Zach? Your book.
Which book? The one I'm working on right now, or the one that's already done?
So the book already done. What do it have sports in it too, or just?
Yeah, there's a big chapter on sports by the numbers.
Okay. How much is it though?
Well, for you, it's free. You're signed up on Patreon. At the end of the live stream, I'll post it at the top of Patreon again. Anybody who's on Patreon can download the book. So.
Okay, no problem. Okay, no, well, I'm just wondering.
So look.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
When I'm done with the live stream today, the top post on Patreon, when I finish, I'll link the book, and you just click on that, and then you just download it to your phone or your computer or whatever.
Okay, that sounds good. I didn't know you had it, but the book you work on next. What's that book about? You work on next though?
Well, the one that I'm working on right now is a lot like the first book. It's going to have less information in it. It's just going to be more concise and just because I think my first book might be too long. My first book's 800 pages, so I think it scares a lot of people. I'm rewriting the first book with what I've learned since I released the first book and just trying to whittle it down into about 150, 200 pages just to really help people understand and use the knowledge and apply it. So.
Okay, no problem. That's all I had. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, take care, man.
You too.
All right, see you. If you read the first 100 pages of the book that I already have out there, it'll be a lot like the book I'm working on now, but I'm just trying to make it even better and more concise. So, and I'm also trying to encourage people in that book to stand up and fight back against all this tyranny and censorship, since that's what I've been dealing with. But anyway. Coming back to the game, I was looking up the score of yesterday's game. What was the score yesterday? 10-4. And for my guy out there who went big on the Yankees, to me, that's a good sign right there that it very well could be Yankees and Dodgers because, again, we just had the huge Yankees 10-4 ritual. And remember, British equals 104. You had the London series by the numbers. America's date of establishment's 104. So far, LA scored 18 runs and the Nationals have scored 8. All right, so the Dodgers are now 8-5 versus the Nationals in the postseason. And let's see. The Nationals can't do that. Yesterday, the start time said Dodgers. Today's start time, I don't know what to make out of it. 3:40 Pacific. What is that? 15:40 military time. 154, kind of like the baseball number. I don't know how that one syncs up with either team. 3:40, 40 minutes after. What? There's got to be something to that. Caller?
Hey, Zach.
Hey.
I can volunteer to do some database work if you want me to.
Well, I got to be honest. Anybody who I want to do the work. So here's the thing. I really appreciate that, but I want anybody who does the work to be paid and not volunteer. And the other thing is the reason I ultimately ended up hiring this company is because they're here in this town. So if they screw up anything, or I can just go down to their door and hold them accountable. And the other thing is the last time I trusted people to help me out, they really screwed me over. And I'm not saying you're going to do that, but I'd just rather it be like someone that I'm paying, and I can go right to their door if there's a problem. So.
Oh yes, so you want somebody sort of close to you.
Right, and it's not. I don't mean to say that rude. It's just I've learned from my mistakes. 3 years ago, I built a website called All for Truth, and I trusted 2 people who were about my age who I thought were down for the cause, and they were in Florida, and I'm in Washington State. And when they screwed me over, it just made everything a nightmare. And so.
Well, hey, that's no big deal. If you want to talk about it over the phone, or you want me to come over there from
Hey, you're actually in Washington State, aren't you? You're in Washington State, huh?
Yeah, I'm over in Lake Stevens.
Okay. Well, we can talk more. We can talk more. But honestly, if you do it, I'd rather pay you than you volunteer. So.
Yeah, I'd like that too. I'm going to sell one of my companies, and I'll have a lot of free time after the first of the year, at least. My grandma lives over there in your town, so I'm going to go visit her in the spring. Maybe we can meet up then.
There you go.
Because,
let's do that.
Obviously, you want to get the database going before that, but I wanted to bring up one other thing as well. I think the reason why the Raptors kind of flew under the radar because they didn't have any 73s.
It was their whole riddle was tied in through the Drake album and the signing of Kawhi Leonard the same day, which I totally missed.
Well, here's something else I figured out. What is the 73rd prime number? It's
21.
363?
Oh, okay. Never mind. 21's 73 is the 21st prime number, but I see what you're saying. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so 73rd prime is what, 373 or something? I think that's it.
Let me look.
Anyway.
373 is the 74th prime.
Okay.
What would it be?
367.
Let me try that out. Yeah, it is. It's 367.
Okay. So the Raptors play in Scotiabank Arena. So when you type in Scotiabank Arena, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, it comes to 367 in English ordinal.
Wow, the full thing, huh?
The full thing. I mean, yeah. I mean, one number or one letter off, wouldn't have that number. So obviously they had it in the real. We didn't see it though before that.
What was it again? Scotiabank Arena, Toronto, Ontario?
Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
You need the Canada in there. Wow. Yeah, there it is, huh?
Oh, wow.
Huh, that's
and
interesting.
that's the only thing you can really find. I mean, when it comes to them, it was really hidden. So, but it's there, like normal.
Very interesting. All right, appreciate that, man. Thank you.
All right, man.
All right, take care.
Have a good day.
All right, see you.
All right.
1 second, I got to answer this call real quick. It's on my other line. What's up, man? Did you get it? Okay. Oh, hey, I'm doing my live stream right now, so keep me posted on this, though, because I got to know what's going on with that. What? Hold on. No, let's talk about it first. I'll call you back later. All right. See you. All right, sorry about that. Something came up that's important. Okay. So let's get back to decoding this game. All right, so the head-to-head is unclear. Riddles both ways. If the Nationals season did end today, again, Washington Nationals equals 107. Last night I saw they put up a stat that Patrick Corbin threw 107 pitches in his game. I was like, yeah, of course he did. Washington Nationals 107. Today is October 7th, or 10/7. So there's two ways to look at it. The Nationals, it would be a perfect day for their season to end. That could happen. Could end today. Or, if they're going to turn it around in advance because of these skull and bones riddles that got dropped, today's the day they'd have to take off because they're facing elimination right now. So, there's that. So, the Dodgers are 8-5 versus the Nationals in the postseason. And let's see. right, I'm not seeing anything that really screams out with what could happen with the postseason record here. Caller?
Hey, if the Nationals were to lose, would they get their 72nd loss of the season?
They would. They would get their 72nd.
Right, and Dodgers 72. So that's kind of a sign.
That's true. They could get there. That is true. So, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and then off topic, just heard what the caller said about the Raptors. Canada equals 24.
Right. It was it was their 24th season.
They won the 24th season, and they won the 39th championship for the Eastern Conference.
I missed that on the Eastern Conference. That's a good one. Drake equals 39 too.
Yep. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, good one. All right, appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah. I got too cocky. Well, remember how the last NBA season began? It began on the day leaving 76 days left in the year. Warriors are originally from Philly. The Warriors are the 73 team. So I knew the Warriors were going to be in the finals, but I thought they were going to take it too. I thought they were going to let Steph Curry build on his legacy, and that's why I thought the whole Durant injury, I was like, okay, this sets up what I was thinking with Curry, him getting an MVP in the finals. The guy born on the 73rd day of the year and said he played like a punk. All right. I'll make this note here too. Nationals' next loss of season is 72. Dodgers does equal 72 in the most pure cipher. All right. So Nationals are now 14 and 19 in postseason. So they have the same problem as the Rays today. They could get their 20th loss. So they could get their 20th postseason loss on the 20-date numerology. Let me make this right here. If the Nationals came back and won the series, they'd get to 16 postseason wins. Los Angeles is 53, the 16th prime. So, again, I have to update these notes. All right. The Dodgers are now 109 and 128 in the postseason. Again, the Dodgers would have to lose their next two games to get to 130 postseason losses, where Washington's 130. So they're not making it easy on us here with that type of stuff. The line, I forgot to write it, negative 130. Washington equals 130. Over under is 8. Okay. All right, let me update all the pitcher information. This is yesterday. Let me do the managers too. So Martinez is now 2-2 in the postseason. Today's 11 days after his birthday, 12th day of his age. Los Angeles equals 37, the 12th prime. And let's see. All right, Roberts. So Roberts has got his 25th win in the postseason. Today's 129 days after his birthday, or his 130th day of his age. Dave Roberts is 129. That was another thing that, if you read the notes yesterday, I mean, some people said they didn't. Douglas, if you're out there, man, seriously, dude, I don't mean to be rude, but you got to clean the wax out of your ears. I'm telling you that almost every postseason game, the start time connects to the team who will win. You know, yesterday the Dodgers start time was 45. Dodgers 45. Caller?
Hey, what's going on, Zach? This is kind of off topic, but not about baseball. But the Redskins fired Jay Gruden today. After
right, 49. 49. Washington 49. So that's the stat they're putting up, that he got his 49th loss and got fired.
Okay. All right, man. Appreciate it. I'll let you go now.
All right, thanks, man. See you. Yeah, one Gruden doing well, the other not so much. Okay, so I just wonder if the Dodgers could close out Washington on the 130th day of the age, or if that could be the signal of a turning point. So, let's see here. We got to run the pitchers. I'm just trying to think where this postseason record could go to. All right, pitchers. All right, so we got Rich Hill on the mound. Hill. Isn't Rich Hill a great name? It's like usually where the rich people live, up on the hill. Caller?
Hey, hello, Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dodgers, the Nationals could also get their 72nd loss. The Scherzer's birthday 72 days ago.
Whose birthday is?
Scherzer.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I'm about to get to. So yeah, you beat me to the punch. That's a good observation. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Denham.
Yeah, great call, Denham. Yeah, great one.
And if you use the end date, it's 73 days. Do you know how Los Angeles Dodgers is 73? So
Yes, I do.
72 for Dodgers and 73 for Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah. All right. Great call.
All right, Zach. Great live stream, by the way.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right.
All right. Take care. Okay. So let's see how many days it is after Rich Hill's birthday, and then we'll do March 11, 2019. Let's see. All right, it's 210 days after Hill's birthday, or his 211th day of his age. 47th prime is 211. 210 days after Hill's birthday. Whoops. All right, 211, 47th prime. Dodger Stadium's got that 211 connection. So, all right. It's not in Dodger Stadium, but it just makes me think. If the Nationals won this game, it would go back to Dodger Stadium. All right, let's see. What else? Rich Hill. All right, he's 4-1 this season. I'm not sure he has a postseason game yet. Hold on, let me check and see if he pitched in the postseason yet. I think actually he might have pitched game 1. Nope. First game of the postseason. All right, 4-1 then. Okay. He's 65-42 for the career, not counting postseason. And for his postseason stats, he's 1-2. So combined, he's 66-44. That doesn't really help us out. He's 0-2 in the NLDS. That makes me think Los Angeles, 37, 12th prime, if he became 1-2. And first postseason game this year, just double check that. I didn't see anything for 2019. Okay. All right, let's see his stats against the Nationals. I got to go back and make sure none of his postseason games were against the Nationals. One of them probably was. Two and 2 versus the Nationals. 2-2 versus the Nationals. That's in the regular season. Let me go back and check to make sure he doesn't have any postseason stats against them. Whoops. All right. He has a loss in the postseason against the Nationals. So what that shows me is Hill could improve to 3-3 all-time versus Nationals with a win. And what do we know about that? Nationals is 33. So he's 2-3 postseason and regular season combined. He could get to 3-3 today. Okay, let's do the other pitcher, Max Scherzer. So, caller said today's 72 days after his birthday. Dodgers is 72. Nationals could get the 72nd loss of the season. Hold on, let's run the birthday. July 27th. Yeah, there it is. All right. So the days after and the span of days both point to Dodgers. Nationals could pick up 72nd loss of season today. And oops. Yeah, no, that's what I want to type. Max Scherzer. Okay, let's get Scherzer's stats. Scherzer is 11-7 for season. And has he pitched in the postseason yet? Yeah. So he came in October 4th. So he pitched 3 days ago, but it was just an inning. So he doesn't have a decision yet this postseason. He got a hold. Okay. All right, Scherzer's 11-7 for. All right, let me get his postseason record again real quick. He's 4-5 in the postseason. Los Angeles does have that 55 connection. That's one devil's advocate narrative there. Scherzer is 170-89 for career and regular season. So that means he's 174-94 all time. Make sure there's not some connection I'm missing. Okay, I don't see it. If he lost, Los Angeles, California is 118, right? It's the city on the 118th meridian. He could be 11-8 for the season with a loss. Let me get his splits versus the Nationals here. Whoops, versus the Dodgers, I mean. He's 5-4 versus the Dodgers, so now that the 55 could go against him that way too. Whoops. Scherzer is 5-4 versus Dodgers in regular season, and let me go back and see if he has postseason history with him. I imagine he does. He is, let's see. All right, he has a loss in the postseason to the Dodgers. So he's 0-1 versus the Dodgers in the postseason. Scherzer is 0-1 versus Dodgers in postseason. Scherzer is 5-5 versus Dodgers all time. Now Washington D.C. equals 56 in the more pure cipher, but it's got an S in it, so it has the 65 connection too, but that 56 is more prominent. Okay. All right, so again, going back through this game, the head-to-head, there's nothing real clear in the head-to-head. You can make an argument either way. If the Nationals did lose today, they'd get their 20th postseason loss on the 20-date numerology. Rich Hill could improve to 3-3 all-time versus the Nationals. Nationals is 33. And I should be thinking about the acronyms for the postseason too. NLDS 49. I just want to see. Oh, it's not the ALDS. Okay, so Hill to me makes a little bit more sense with the win because he can get to 3-3 versus the Nationals all time. It's also possible he gets a no decision. That's the thing about the pitchers. He's looking for his first win in the NLDS. And then Scherzer, it's 72 days after his birthday, and if his team does lose, they'll get the 72nd loss of the season, and Dodgers equals 72. It's also his 73rd day of his age. Los Angeles Dodgers 73. He could fall to 11-8 for the season. Big number with Los Angeles. The devil's advocate narrative, though, is he could get his 12th win, right? I got to think about that, too. Los Angeles equals 37, 12th prime. Could get that 12th win of the season. His record versus the Dodgers all time, you can make an argument either way. The 56 hits a little bit harder, so maybe I'd say it's, 60% against him, 40% for him. He also has this riddle to win in the postseason. If the Nationals did get closed out today, if their season ended today, it would be 10/7, Washington Nationals 107. That has some rhyme and reason to it. If they did get closed out today, it would be on Dave Roberts' 129th day of his, or it'd be 129 days after Roberts' birthday. Dave Roberts 129, or his 130th day of his age. Washington 130. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
What's up, man?
Hey, just one more thought on this money management thing. What the bettors have to understand, even on top of everything else, is the odds they're providing you are so lousy. But even though it looks good, the actual odds of hitting those things is way, way harder. So, higher. So, for argument's sake, picking 5 games, if they're all even, would be extremely hard. You should be getting paid out double what they're paying out.
Well, here, for people who aren't good at math, here, let's just say that the odds were 50-50 times 5. So that would be 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5. And that equals, what is that? Yeah, it's about 3%. It's about 3%.
But you should be getting 33-1 odds on a bet like that if you had all those games are 50-50.
Well, exactly, and that's why Vegas makes sure they always win, because
so they'll give you 22-1 odds, and it'll all look good. But in reality, it's much harder to hit just based off the payouts. They don't even care.
Well,
it's all in the myth.
So I do agree with that, but like with football, when we have our really strong reads, we don't miss on those very often. And there was 3 of those this weekend. So if you build your 3 around that, then you need to hit on 2 more to get the good payout, which is like what people did. That's the guy who bet 25 and made 2,700. That's essentially what he did because he had the Colts and the Broncos upset in there with 3 good ones. So.
And then just one last thought on your death of Bill Bidwell, and I don't know if you noticed it or not, is the Chargers played the Cardinals on 8-8 in football to open up the NFL preseason.
Very interesting. Yeah.
So that was, to me, we've linked. I'm not going to get into all the connections. It's beyond anything I could have ever imagined. But they opened up the NFL season, Cardinals, and then all that stuff. And I know you're seeing the shootings and stuff, but it does clearly look to me it's Chargers or Chiefs in the AFC based on what you're seeing and what I've seen.
Well, don't forget about the Patriots. I wouldn't throw out the Patriots, man.
Well, they're in there, but they're not going to be one of the teams. I think the Chargers are going to beat them based on what I've seen.
Something to think about I still wouldn't throw out the Patriots. Something to think about is if the 49ers win tonight, the Patriots and 49ers will be the only two undefeated teams. Patriots will be 5-0. They'll have 5 wins, and the 49ers would be 4-0. They'd have 4 wins. And again, Brady's from the Bay Area. Garoppolo used to be his backup. It would be one of their that's one of their mockumentaries that they could put together for the Super Bowl. So
yeah, but the riddle that I've uncovered with this thing is so beyond anything. I can't even believe how far the rabbit hole it goes down. To the point where people being born and guys on different TV shows and on movies and just people with their birth dates lined up all linked back to it. If the Patriots little and the Garoppolo little is that deep, then so be it. But I think it's more of a surface one. And just one more thought on the original Dallas Texans were an NFL team. The AFL Dallas Texans was a separate team. So that's also interesting that the Dallas Texans, the AFL team, became the Kansas City Chiefs, but there was an original Dallas Texans that became the Baltimore Colts.
Did you watch that in that 30-minute clip?
No.
Oh, yeah, because they talk about that. There's a 30-minute video on YouTube about the history of every single NFL team and AFL team that's ever been folded and what they became. It's actually pretty interesting. What's interesting, though, is they skipped the Miami Colts, or the Miami Seahawks. They don't talk about the Miami Seahawks who became the Baltimore Colts. So, I'm a little bit confused about that, because they say the same thing in there, but if you read, the Miami Seahawks ownership is who formed the Baltimore Colts.
Well, it may be the ownership, but the Dallas Texans of the NFL, which is not the same team as the Dallas Texans of the AFL, rolled into Baltimore, and then they eventually merged and became a new team. But just so you know, the 50th AFL team, right, 50th season was the 1994 season for the Chargers. The original teams. That was the 50th AFL team.
Sure.
So, the Chargers or whatever, I'll go down swinging.
Well, again, the Chargers have a great riddle. They're the only team where the owner, the QB, and the coach all have a perfect alignment with the Super Bowl, and we've seen some things with the Chargers. They became 2-2 in Miami.
They're going to be 3-3 next week. Like Super Bowl's on 3-3.
That's true.
They'll be 5-4 when they play November 7th. Leaving 54 days left in the year, the only team playing on that day.
That's a great observation too. So there's definitely things there for the Chargers. And hey, I also just want to throw out again, I'm not sleeping on any teams that there's narratives for right now. The Colts are interesting because again they had a strong alignment with Luck, Brissett. The Super Bowl's on his 54th day of his age. Backup equals 54. The Colts showed that they could be something yesterday too. So that's another team that I would think a little bit about.
I've got the Chargers playing the Colts in the first round of the playoffs. I'm laying it out right now.
Okay.
And then because the Colts are the Chargers, they actually all those guys left Baltimore to go to San Diego, the famous players. But it's a long way to go. There's a lot of stuff that come out. I think the riddles wait. Beyond, just so you know, I don't know if you noticed it, but Teddy Bridgewater threw for 314 yards yesterday.
Nice.
And that's Anna Rivers 314 days from the Super Bowl.
Well, circle's 50, right? Chiefs is 50, so it makes sense.
Right. So,
look. I just want to say something real quick. I love your riddle and all the points you're making, but don't just take every single stat and connect it back to the narrative that you see.
No, but
because people do that. People do that. Like, there was a guy all week who was in my ear calling me. He's like, "You're going to get burned on that Patriots game. I guarantee you the Redskins are winning this week." And I was just like, I don't think so, man.
A real person. No one would take that seriously. Come on, they can't.
Well, he could be a troll. He called so many times this week, and I was just like, man.
Think about that. First of all, just that game alone, even for a regular bettor, would be like, well, the Patriots are 100 times better than the Skins. So why would the Skins in any real world beat them?
Well, I agree. That's what I was saying to him. I say we've been talking about all year about the 50, but I'm just saying some people, if he's not a troll and he's sincere, I mean, some people just really lock into something and they forget everything else. So
no, I know. I know you're riddled with the deaths, the 5 shootings, 5 people shot, 4 dead, 54. There's strong riddles. There's one main one, and then there's multiple ones that have strong riddles too to it. We know that.
Right. Right.
And I think I'm not sick on the Patriots because the Patriots are going to be in the playoffs. I mean, that's a given. We knew that before the season started, right?
Right.
They got the easiest comp division. They just win a bunch of games. They get automatically to the playoffs, and then it just becomes, is it their year again?
Hey, by the way, did anybody hear what the commentators... Was anybody watching the Redskins-Patriots game? I laughed my ass off. They showed Alex Smith up in the booth, and they go, "There's Alex Smith. The Redskins wish they had him on the field right now." And then the camera goes to Tom Brady. They go, "There's Tom Brady. The Patriots always have Tom Brady." And then the next... I forget... What was it? Yeah, the next play, Julian Edelman's wide open, and then they throw the ball to Julian Edelman, and he goes, "And there's Julian Edelman. Tom Brady always has Julian Edelman wide open." And I was like, yep, exactly.
I think most of us could hit Edelman as open as he was in that play, right?
And it's just such a joke, man. And I was just like, yeah, the commentator's just putting it in everybody's face. So.
And then we see the Saints now, how well they're doing with Bridgewater stepping in, which we kind of thought they would, right?
Right?
I'm not surprised.
He's another Miami guy, so.
And then the year the black quarterback and the year the backup ties it nicely with Teddy Bridgewater, doesn't it?
It sure does. It sure does. So.
I'm in.
All right. Appreciate it. Take care. Okay. So coming back to this Dodgers-Nationals game, I mean, the strongest riddle, in my opinion, in this game is that the game's 72 days after Scherzer's birthday. Dodgers is 72, and they can pick up their 72nd win today. But still, again, for me, it's like, if I had a great weekend, I'm probably just going to chill on baseball, because we know that there's some narratives floating out there. I mean, that Skull and Bones thing, we still got to see where they're going with that. It is true that some of the Skull and Bones riddles that definitely played in the playoffs, they didn't mean that the team was going to advance or win, so still trying to figure out what they're doing with some of this Skull and Bones stuff. But I mean, I got to say, more lines up for the Dodgers here. It's just, I really want to, I really want to see the Dodgers advance, because I know that if there's a guy who won more than anybody on the Super Bowl, he probably has more money than any of us. He's put a ton of money down on the Yankees. So I want to see the Yankees go for him, definitely. If the Nationals get past the Dodgers, though, that's when I'd really start to worry about the Astros being in the World Series. I think all the other teams have a better scenario to face the Yankees. So, all right, but yeah, strongest narrative here, the 72 thing. And Yankees and Twins, I suspect that the Twins and Nationals will move together, meaning they'll either win together or lose together today. Earlier this season, we had a really great riddle with... Here, let me look up that game real quick. I want to go back and see if... Because, again, the Washington Senators became the Minnesota Twins. So these teams have a historical relationship. And there was a game in Minnesota this year where it was just like a perfect riddle with the Nationals. I'll go back and look at what day that was. And I want to measure from that day to today, because that could tell us something. All right, let's see. All right, hold on. I can do it this way. Caller?
Hey, Zach, did you know if you type in October 7th, it equals 72?
That's a good observation. That could be a winning clue.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, yeah.
It is weird how stuff like that happens. Yeah, good observation.
All right, man.
All right, take care. Caller?
Hey, Zach, let me call you. I got a question for you real quick. Remember that the Denver Broncos beat the Chargers?
Right, yeah, and we saw that looked like a good upset riddle.
Let me ask a question. Is LA equal 14, right?
It equals 13 and 14, both those numbers.
Okay, because I asked you because the Denver won 1-4 now. I told my father that the Denver probably will win now.
Right.
I see, because it's represent 14, and the Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh too, right? Pittsburgh will be 1-4, and if you reverse that number, that's 41. That's Maryland, right? Maryland, right?
Baltimore's 41. Yeah, exactly. And so yesterday about that football game, that's the thing. The reason I wasn't crazy about that game is because the quarterback, Jackson, and Harbaugh were in contradiction with each other. But like I've said, usually if it comes to the QB and the coach, it'll go in favor of the QB. Jackson became 9-3 yesterday in the regular season, 93 days from his birthday. The problem was Harbaugh could have got his 81st loss, and Pittsburgh Steelers is 81. But the QB usually does trump the coach, and that's what happened yesterday with the Baltimore game. So, yeah, good observation.
No, you right. I mean, you play the safe. You very conservative. I understand that. I mean, you got to be. You put money down on the game. You got to be conservative sometimes, you know.
Well, I think, and I'm trying to give you guys good advice. I hate when I give bad advice. So if it's close, I don't want to. You know, I try to make it as little of a gamble as possible. Is my goal.
So let me ask you, what about Kansas City game, Dallas, and the what about them games? They all lost too.
Well,
so what's going on with that?
Kansas City, we saw the strong narrative that they could get upset. That's why I said to me the smart pick here is to take Indianapolis to cover. So, again, there was a Super Bowl riddle yesterday in Kansas City before the shooting. If I see any, did you hear about the Kansas City tequila bar shooting?
No, I ain't hear about that.
That was yesterday's news story. That was yesterday's news story in the morning before the games were played. So they said 5 injured, 4 dead. 5 injured, 4 dead, right?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know where was that, though. Where was that?
Kansas City.
I saw that, yeah.
It was in Kansas City. 5 injured, 4 dead, right? And the name of the bar equals 120 in Gematria, and it was a span of 120 days to the Super Bowl. So no doubt a Super Bowl riddle. If I see any NFL player launch a tequila brand this year, I'm gonna catch on to that. But the thing is, Chiefs fell to 4-1, and there's a narrative for a Chiefs-Packers Super Bowl. If I see Aaron Rodgers tequila come out this year, I definitely know what's going on. But 4-1, Super Bowl equals 41, and so that's another narrative that's right there that we got to think about. But yeah, that tequila bar is a big clue, so I'm going to keep thinking about it, and maybe they'll put out a name of a shooter. I haven't seen if that information's come out yet, but if they come out with some name of a shooter that syncs up with a certain team, could be a big clue. And think about it. Yesterday, the Packers became 4-1 in Dallas. Dallas 41, Green Bay 41, Rodgers 41, Week 5 41. So we liked Rodgers a lot yesterday. Everything lined up for Rodgers. I mean, he had a million things that lined up in his record with a win and nothing really going against him. So I'm not surprised by the outcomes at any of those games. But, Super Bowl 41, Week 5 41. So...
exactly. You know what? But you said sometimes the Vegas, I took people Vegas would pay out sometimes because it was a lot of them on Dallas on the money line, and they lost.
Well, so remember, the day before the game, about nearly 80% of the public money was on the Packers for that game, but by game time, it was about even. So everybody came in late and bet against the public because they're like, oh, yeah, because that's some people's strategy. They're like, oh, if all the money's that way, I'm going to bet this way. So it was even by game time. I think even if the money stayed heavy on the Packers were going to win yesterday just because the Rodgers riddle was so strong. So.
Oh, see, you taught me that, so that's good to learn both sides of it. See, and I thought they're going to pay. Vegas do pay sometimes. Like Vegas paid they paid Kansas City too.
Yeah.
The other side had a lot of money. They was high on the money on the other side, so they pay out sometimes.
Right, because they got to. Otherwise, people would catch on that the public never wins. So.
Exactly. Before you leave, guess what though? Hey, you said it was 5. You said 5. What? You said 5 and 4. What a while ago? You said about that shooting again.
5 injured, 4 dead. 5-4.
That's code 54, right?
Exactly.
See, right there, right in front of our face, right there. They put out in front of us. You got to be retarded to see that.
Well,
right there.
And then you learn Gematria and you realize that the name of the bar equals 120 and it's a span of 120 days to the Super Bowl. So that's a major Super Bowl riddle right there.
So the book you will give us free. Let me ask you, the book you give us free. You already did. Is they gonna have all the key numbers and like that? Key numbers.
If you read the first 100 pages, you're going to know way more. And then it's a digital book, so you can scan through it. You can skip to the sports chapter, which is near the end of the book, and just read about a whole bunch of examples from sports history.
Okay, sounds good, man. Hey, I'm so glad I came across you for a few years, and I'm glad of that, man. At first, I said Zach a joke. At first, I said no, you ain't no joke. I said Zach, man, you prove me wrong too many times now. You prove me wrong. You prove me. You right, man. I'm telling you, you right on the numbers. I told my father said you a bad man.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Okay, Zach, no problem. Get back to what you're doing. No problem, sir.
All right, take care.
All right.
See you. All right, hold on. So, what was it? I saw how... Oh, so the Twins picked up that 57th loss. Nationals is 57. I thought there was something big, though, that we documented when this series was going on. So, the last game was September 12th, though. I don't know. Maybe it was something with the pitcher records. I thought there was something more on the surface, though. I see the 57th loss because Nationals is 57. Yeah. There was something more to this game that I'm forgetting now. But anyway, let's just see how many days it is from September 12th to today. I think that's 25 days later, huh? Let me make sure. 25 days later or 26. 25. Shoot. All right. Well. Okay, coming back to it. All right, so again, the Yankees are now 6-2 versus the Twins. And we talked about how if the Twins lost the first two, they'd be 2-6 versus the Yankees. The Yankees got their 104th win on 10-4, winning 10-4, and then they got their 105th win on 10/5. So I know today's 10/7, and the Twins ballpark equals 107. Get this right up here. Okay, so somebody just pointed out that if you write out today, October 7th, it equals 72. That's interesting. There it is, October 7th. Well, it also equals 63, though. So that's because it could go 6-3 or 7-2. So let me just going to put that note here. October 7th equals 63 and 72. That's not going to help us. I know the Twins ballpark is 107. OU's at 9. What is it? Target Stadium, I think. Whoops. Target Field, 107. Today is 10/7. All right. So the Twins have now lost 12 straight games in the postseason to the Yankees. They could lose their 13th straight. TC's 13. Yankees 37, the 12th prime. Let me just get this up here on the same line. All right. All right, so the Yankees are now 15-2 versus the Twins in the playoffs. Remember, baseball's 162, Major League Baseball's 162. I think worst case scenario for the Yankees is if they lost today, they'd come back and win the next game to become 16-3 because 163 is the 38th prime and Minnesota's 38. So that's a possibility. It's a possibility that the Twins could take just one here. Okay. So the Twins are now 33-53 in the postseason. If they don't win, they're going to stay on those 33 wins. New York's 33. The Yankees are now 234-164 in the postseason. Twins have now lost 15 straight postseason games. They lost today, it'd be 16 straight. All right, let me clear out the pitcher information here. All right, let me update the manager information. Baldelli's on 63 combined losses. The last, the Rays took the lead on the Astros 3-1. All right, let me see. Hold on, I'm on the wrong day. What's going on here? There's that 3-1, man. Houston in 31. Oh, yeah. So it's 2 days later. That's right. They last played October 5th. So today's 12 days after his birthday, his 13th day of his age. TC's 13. They could lose their 13th straight today. Twins could lose 13th straight game to Yankees in postseason. All right. Boone is now 4-3. Oh, the name of the Twin Stadium's 53. Caller?
Hey, Zach. Going, bud.
What's up, man?
Hey, real quick about the Yankees. You said it was their postseason. What was it? 164 losses. It was 234.
Yeah. They got 164.
So, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if they lose 3 straight, that's 167, the 39th prime, and the 5th game's would be in New York.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if the Twins came back.
I would too. I was just pointing that out.
Okay.
Just in case,
All right. Yeah. Good observation.
Bye, Zach.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yep.
See you. Because they can end up picking up that 167th loss in the next series in New York, which probably does happen. But if Boone won today, he'd be 5-3 in the postseason. Target Field's 53. And what was I just saying about 16? So the Yankees getting their 16th win versus the playoffs. 53 is the 16th prime number. Target Field 53, 16th prime. They could lose their 16th straight at Target Field. And that... Okay. All right, let's see. So our pitchers today... Severino, who just came back at the end of the season. Let me get his thing here. Severino's 107 like the date. Look at that. 168 like New York City. Okay. Okay, let's see. Severino equals 107. Today is 10/7. Target Field equals 107. And 16, Louis 16. The Twins could lose their 16th straight. Caller?
Hey, Zach. You talked about that team against the Twins. If they lost today, the score total would be the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not in that order, but 2, 3, 4 to 5, 6, 7 or whatever. I just thought that was interesting.
Okay, if the Yankees, you're saying the Yankees postseason, if they won, they'd get to 235 wins?
No, if they lost.
Oh, 2, 3, 4.
Their postseason record.
Oh, I see.
If their loss score goes up 1, it leads to a string of numbers.
Right. No, I see that 2, 3, 4, 1, 6, 5. So you could reorganize that to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's interesting.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
All
not
right.
sure it's significant, but that was interesting.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting. All right. Yeah. All right. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man.
See you. What's more interesting to me, though, is that the Twins can lose 16 straight to Louis. So that's something right there. Severino is 1-1. First season, and pretty sure he hasn't pitched yet. Severino is 42 and 26 in regular season. Oh, I forgot to see how many days it was after his birthday. February 20th birthday, 51st day of the year. It's 229 days after his birthday, the 50th prime. Twins is 50. Caller?
Hey, Zach. So I just wanted to ask. I think I heard you say earlier that does Houston equal 31?
It does. It's a huge number for them.
It does. Okay, because I'm watching this game right now, and the score is stuck on 3-1. So I might put a little live bet in on the Rays. Because I've seen it so many times before. When they get on that number, it just kind of means something.
Well, that's what I said. That's why I said that's my thing about Houston today. Because if Houston loses today, I'll like them a whole lot tomorrow. Because 3-1 has just been it's just so consistent with Houston that if they close out the series tomorrow, they win it 3-1. So
3-1, right. Okay. All right.
But yeah, be careful, man. It's still a tight game, and the Astros can put up runs. Them being in a 3-1 hole this early in the game, I mean, they have plenty of so.
All right, yeah, I'll just be patient, like you said. I had a good weekend, and I don't want to just
exactly.
I was hearing what you were saying earlier, and it makes sense to just wait for the one-way streak riddles, and it makes a lot of sense. You don't have to rush every bet.
Exactly, man. Tomorrow's gonna come. Come. So.
Yeah. Like, we can be in control. We don't have to make Vegas be in control of us.
Right. So. And like, I'd give yourself a rule. Like, if you make 3,000 on the weekend, like some people did this weekend, don't go and say, like, okay, this week I got 3,000 to bet. Nah, man. If anything, say, like, okay, I'm going to bet 500 this week and hopefully turn that into another 3,000. And if I lose that 500, then fuck it. I'm going to come back next week and win 3,000 again.
Right. There has to be a system so we can always stay up, always have a bankroll.
Right. Save your money. Right. Exactly.
Perfect sense. All right, man. Have a good one.
All right. See ya.
Thanks.
Okay. It's 229 days after his birthday. I don't want this bulb. 229, 50th prime, and Twins is 50. So it's about the only thing that could point in the Twins' favor, but it could also mean he's got the Twins. The 16th straight loss to Louis. I'm having trouble getting past that. All right. He's 1-2 in the postseason, so he could get to 2-2. Twins is 22 in the most pure cipher. TC is 13, but that 22 was better than the 13 for the Twins this year. Severino is 1-2 in postseason. Twins equals 22. Well, I'll just write the 22. TC equals 13. 22 was the better number. And he's 1-1 in the ALDS. Yankees is 37, 12 prime. And let's see his record versus the Twins. He's 0-1 versus the Twins in 2 starts. Severino. See if he ever had a decision against the Twins. The time he faced the Twins, his team won. He didn't get the decision. Yankees are 1-0 versus Twins in postseason when Severino starts. That game was October 3rd, 2017. It's a span of 105 weeks from that last game. That's interesting, because the Yankees are on 105 wins. That's interesting. That game was a span of 105 weeks ago. Yankees on 105 wins for season. Okay. What was the Vikings game was 38 points yesterday against the Giants, wasn't it? 38 combined points. Minnesota 38, Giants 38. Again, that's the worst case scenario I see here for the Yankees. If the Yankees lost today, I'd have to assume they close it out tomorrow to get to 16-3 versus the Twins, because again, 163 is the 38th prime, big number there. But yeah, the biggest clue to me is just the fact that this man's name is 16, and that's the riddle. The Twins will lose 16 straight. So, let me look at the Minnesota pitcher here. Odorizzi. Let's see. Odorizzi, I see. Well, wait a minute. He might have pitched this postseason. I need to verify that. Okay, let's look. 193, 44th prime, New York. Well, the Yankees got the 44 connection. I don't see anything that fits in with our 16 riddle here. Okay, his birthday, March 27th. It's 194 days. After Odorizzi's birthday, I don't think that number connects to anything. It's 1 day off from being synced with his birthday. Odorizzi is 15-7 for season. Got to make sure he hasn't done a postseason game yet. Odorizzi is 62-55 in the regular season. His postseason. Oh, has he not played in the postseason? So it's another guy with no postseason history. Okay, no postseason. So let's see what he's done against the Yankees. He's 7-9 versus the Yankees. 7-9. It's going to be his 18th start. 18th start. Odorizzi is. It was 7-9, right? 7-9. I guess 79 is the 22nd prime, like Twins. So I guess it makes sense from that standpoint. Caller.
Hey, Zach. Hey, I wanted to mention a couple of things. Number one, the AFC South, they entered into this week. Each team had 2-2. Of course, the Super Bowl's on 2-2. but I noticed that the 1970 was the last time that happened. You go back and look at the 1970 Super Bowl, it was the Chiefs against the Vikings, and then the shooting happened this week in Kansas City. So I just thought that might line up somewhere along the lines of
Give me that one more time.
So the AFC South, I'm a Jaguar fan, or have been. The AFC South, each team in the AFC South was at 2-2.
Right, I got that.
When this week began.
Got it.
And then that's the first time that's happened since 1970. So I went back and looked at the 1970 Super Bowl, and it was the Chiefs and the Vikings. And then you have the shooting in Kansas City this week. I just thought that was interesting, especially with the 5 injured, 4 dead.
And they're playing an AFC South team, and they fell to 4-1 in Super Bowl's 41. And then they're playing Brissett, too. And, again, backup equals 54, and the Super Bowl's on the 54th day of Brissett's age. So, yeah, that's a great observation. So,
just wanted to mention that.
All right, I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, see you. Okay, a second ago I had an extra I in Odorizzi because my keyboard does this thing now where sometimes it records 2 strokes when I hit the thing one time, but okay, so I thought there was a 158 there for a second, but there's not. There's still no 16 connection. If he won, he'd be 16-7 for the season. 167 is the 39th prime. New York's 39. So to me, that's the best riddle I've seen so far for Minnesota. And the other thing is he could stop that losing streak of 15 consecutive games. He's on 15 wins for the season. All right. And if he didn't get 16, it could also be symbolic in the Yankees winning the 16 straight. So that's another thought. Odorizzi could get his 56th career loss today on the 56 date numerology because he doesn't have any postseason, so his 55 regular season losses are his all-time losses. So that stands out. Him being 7-9 versus the Yankees, I don't make anything out of that. 19's the 8th prime. I mean, doesn't have to happen. Hold on, that's Nick notes from before. Okay, let's make sure we got everything here. Okay, so the Yankees are playing for their 106th win. Their next loss would be 60. They haven't lost yet in the postseason. Twins, their next loss. I guess I can make a note about this. Twins have 63 total losses for season. Okay, so the head-to-head, there's nothing that's really definitive in the head-to-head. It looked good for the Yankees the last 2 games. If the Yankees do win, they're going to win 16 straight versus the Twins, and they're going to become 16-2 in the postseason. Again, those are special numbers, 16-2 like 162. Baseball's 162. Major League Baseball's 162. I think best-case scenario for Minnesota is they win today and lose the next one, because if they did that, they'd finish 16-3. 163, the 38th prime, Minnesota 38, big number with Minnesota. Yesterday, again, that was the score of the game yesterday between Minnesota and the Giants. It was 38 combined points. Right here, 28-10. So, Minnesota scored 15 in the second quarter. Wonder, could that be a clue? Could they stop the losing streak at 15 games? When you write out 15 as a word, it sums to 38, like Minnesota and like Giants. So, Again, though, if the Yankees do win 16 straight, the name of the stadium for the game is perfect. Target Field's 53, the 16th prime. To get the 16th straight, if the Twins do get swept, they will stay on 33 postseason wins, New York 33. And let's see. Again, we saw Severino, his first name Louis 16. He's the man to give him 16 straight. I guess the devil's advocate narrative is that Louis equals 47, the 15th prime. But if I have to choose between these ciphers, I'm taking the most pure cipher all day, the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. That's the thing that I still debate with every single day, because I was a lot more accurate at calling games 3 years ago before I knew reverse, and I saw less. The reverse is definitely important. I just saw less. I saw it either with the alphabetic order or the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, and that's how I lined things up. I didn't have these other ciphers over here to look at, but I know these ciphers are important. Like Dallas is 113. We wouldn't have known about Rogers going for his 113th career win without the reverse. So I don't want to throw it out, but I'm just trying to figure out how to see more and be as accurate as I used to be. And then another part of me wonders if maybe part of the reason I'm not as accurate is because we're putting out the picks hours in advance before the games, and we have a bunch of assholes and feds and people who work for the league here. So I think that's also a real thing to think about. They can't flip every game, but I think they can flip some. Caller?
Hey, Zach, this is Douglas.
What's up, man?
Hey there. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Douglas. Douglas, you have never called in before. I gotta say, you have a young voice. I imagined you being older for some reason. What's up, Douglas?
Yeah, no, I'm 56 though.
Your voice is young, man. I would guess you were 18.
Wow. But yeah, I did had the Titans in there, but no biggie because I wound up chasing, and then I took 2 baseball games with the Broncos, so I came out profiting at the end of the day.
Okay,
anyway.
I'm glad to hear that, man. Yeah, but I mean, didn't you hear me though? I shouldn't have put that Titans pick in there. It's my fault, but there wasn't a lot to go off of with that game.
Right. Yeah, that was my fault. Oh, I did comment. It was my fault, but I got distracted when so many callers was like calling in and talking about other sports, and it just threw me off.
Well, I'm going to do a better job going forward because, in a way, I'm glad you complained because I was like, yeah, I shouldn't have put that game in there. That was my mistake of the day. So.
Right. One more thing for last night's game, around the first quarter, I don't know if anybody recognized when they showed Mahomes coming out of that got like the start before the start of the game, and he wore the shirt and his cameras was right on him, and it said Monarch, Monarch.
Did it say Monarchs? Monarchs, the old baseball team, right?
I don't know. It was just a shirt. It didn't have no baseball logo. It was just a shirt, and it written out right on the chest. And the camera caught him, and I said, "Wow, that's strange." And then right away, I went to the calculator, and it was 31s and 4 deciphers. And that was telling me, I wonder if it's a 13 here or a 31. And there it goes. They stayed on 13.
Monarchs equals 91, the 13th triangular number. So, yeah.
Okay, that's all I have.
Good observation, man. Yep, you got it.
Okay.
All right, take care.
All right, take care, Zach.
All right, see you.
Okay.
And, so you guys, the bar, if you didn't see this, check this out. I'll just show you right now. Vinatieri hit the field goal at the end of the half, right, to give him 13. And I think Vinatieri wears number 13. Let me see. Adam Vinatieri jersey number. I think he wears 13. Never mind, he's number 4. 13 in numerology reduces to 4. That's why I was thinking that. Okay. Vinatieri hit the field goal to give them their 13th points. And somebody pointed out, they said, "Hey, Zach, did you notice that the bar address shooting was 1013 Central Avenue? And the score's 10-13 at the half?" Caller.
How you doing, Zach?
What's up, man?
Hey, I just noticed something about Scherzer. The last game he was supposed to pitch. It said it, in the headline he was supposed to pitch, but they had undecided. for the pitcher. I just thought that was weird. Now he's pitching today.
And it makes me wonder if it's all about that 72 ritual, because it's 72 days after his birthday, and if they do lose, it'll be their 72nd loss of the season.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that to your attention, Zach. You know,
it's a great observation. Yeah, appreciate it, man.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, thanks. Okay, let's see. Okay. So coming back to this, we were on the Yankees Twins, right? I got sidetracked. I was pointing the thing out about the address with the football game last night. All right, so let's make sure we got everything here. So, Yankees. Here, I should write out some other things here. Remember, Major League and Major League Baseball both sum to 63. MLB equals 27. Baseball equals 27. Yankees have won 27 World Series. Yankees finished regular season with 103 wins. And don't forget they got that 103rd win on the 27th of September. 103 is the 27th prime. So it's just like, what's more symbolic here if the Yankees win 7-2, making the Twins 2-7 versus the Yankees for the year? Or is it the 6-3? Again, I really think the Nationals and Twins are going to move together tonight. We'll see about that. But again, just because the Twins are originally the Washington Senators, and just for kicks, I want to see what Washington Senators equals. 79, 22nd prime. 241, the 53rd prime. And 53 is the 16th prime. If we're going for those 16 straight. All right, but again, the Twins could lose 16 straight tonight, and Louis in the most pure cipher 16. So that definitely jumps. And Severino's stats. He could become 2-2 in the postseason by defeating the Twins 22. Odorizzi has a riddle to end the streak at 15 by picking up his 16th win. But he could also get his 56th career loss on the 56 date numerology. And I feel the same way about this game that I feel with the Astros. It looks better for hold on, let me take this call real quick in case somebody here. Hello? Hello? I hear you. Who is this?
My name is Sandra. I'm calling you from Street Marketing. How are you doing today, sir?
Okay, never mind. It's telemarketing. Okay. So again, looking at the managers, Boone has the stronger riddle in my opinion. Just how he can get that, he can become 5-3 in the postseason with this 16 riddle. Caller?
Hello, Zach. I noticed that it's kind of mirroring the 2009 Yankees when they last won it, and they had the same exact regular season record. They were 103 and 59 this year and in 2009, and they swept the Twins in that year in the ALDS, and that was 10 years, 1 day ago, and they could keep the Twins on 101 wins, and Yankee is 101.
Oh, that's true. 101's the 26 prime, and Yankees is 26. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And they swept them 10 years, 1 day ago.
That's a really great connection. So it'd be deja vu.
Yep.
All right, yeah, great work, man. Great catch. All right, thanks. All right, yeah, because, again, and Boone can become 5-3 in the playoffs, 53 the 16th prime, 16 straight. So, I mean, and Louis on the mound, it just looks like things are geared for the 16. And I guess the 16 that doesn't fall would be Odorizzi not getting his 16th win of the season. So, yeah, he's right. They had the same record in 2009. And where's the postseason? Yankees swept Minnesota 3-0. Philadelphia was in it that year, yeah, because that's the Yankees-Philadelphia World Series. That's why I kept saying, if it's not Yankees and Phillies, then would it be a tribute to the Dodgers because they came up short that year? We've been talking about this for a while now. Dodgers and St. Louis, Philly and Colorado. So the teams that repeat are the Dodgers and St. Louis from that year. All right, that's a really great observation, though, that 10 years ago they swept them. Bam. And that goes in with the 53-16 thing we're already looking at. Yankees swept Twins in 2009 3-0 and can repeat history. Yankees won World Series that year over Phillies. Okay. This game's this game's going to be at 7:40 local time. New York Yankees has that 74 connection. New York Yankees is 65 in the most pure cipher, right? If you use the rule for S, it's plus 9 more, 74. An S, the 19th letter, the only letter that you have to reduce 2 times to get to a single digit. 19 is 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 is 1 plus 0 is 1. That's why S can be 1 or 10. So when S is 10, New York Yankees is 74. Yeah, so anyway, I think it looks better for the Yankees to me today. And if the Yankees win today and the Astros don't, that's going to give the Yankees a little edge for the next series against the Astros, assuming that those are the 2 teams that will meet, which is most likely. And again, we thought that that's what it was going to be before the All-Star break because those 2 teams, again, had 57 wins, the World Series number. So, did I write this? I forgot to write this note. If Twins lose, they will finish season with 101 wins. 101, 26th prime. Yankees equals 26. So, a lot of 53-16 there to support the Yankees sweeping. The Nationals-Dodgers game. Again, the strongest riddle on the board looks like Nationals. But again, the reason I doubt this a little bit is just because I'm still, part of me is just humming and hawing about why they did that big skull and bones ritual with the Nationals. I really do want to see the Dodgers knock the Nationals out, though. Because, again, I think Nationals advancing scares me about the Yankees being in the World Series. I think Nationals-Astros is still a real possibility until it's out the window. But the strongest riddle there was 72 days after Scherzer's birthday. Dodgers equals 72, and Nationals can get 72nd loss of the season and closed out. So, they'd also pick up their 20th postseason loss on the 20-date numerology. And then Braves and Cardinals. This one, just because the narratives are floating with Bill Bidwell and now Jimmy Carter, just like, okay, where are they going with this? But we did see that the head-to-head made a whole lot more sense for an Atlanta win today. A lot better riddle there. In the postseason record, though, you can make an argument for the Cardinals winning and sending it back to SunTrust Ballpark. That's there. If that does happen, I'm probably going to lean St. Louis in Game 5 if that happens, just because Atlanta Braves is 136 and they could become 13-6 versus the Braves. It's hard to go against. Then I got to wonder what they're doing with Jimmy Carter now. And then Keuchel, though. Keuchel did have one concerning thing. He could get his 74th all-time loss today, and St. Louis is 74. So, I mean, that's something to consider. We saw that today was Keuchel's 124th day of being a Brave, and Keuchel's 124, so he could get his most significant moment today advancing to the next round of the playoffs. He pitches a great game and gets the W. We saw today was 22 days after Hudson's birthday. Braves is 22. We saw that Hudson could fall to 11-3 at home versus Dallas. Dallas Keuchel, that is. Dallas 113. So, again, for people who had a great day yesterday, I'd be real careful today. I think tomorrow's going to be easier for baseball. Like, for example, if the Rays do get past the Astros today, I don't think they get past them tomorrow. I think that 3-1 hits. So, Rays are up 5-1 now. Houston Astros is 51. Caller?
Hey, Dak.
Hey.
This is War Mentality.
What's up, man?
Yeah, did you already go over the Cardinals?
For today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, we did. What was your thought?
Check out the story. Paul DeYoung, number 12, that plays for the Cardinals. He knocked out the Big Mac land sign, the M, out of the Big Mac land sign in Busch Stadium.
Okay.
He hit a home run, and now it says Big AC instead of Big Mac.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I can pull up this story.
The Cardinals are going for their 12th championship.
Huh. Okay.
So I think that's a riddle that got the Cardinals probably getting their 12th championship this year. Because 13 equals 99, and if they play Wednesday, the Atlanta Braves pitcher, he's 8-8 right now. Well, he's 8-9 because he lost, I think, the first game.
Yeah, Keuchel.
So he'll be 9-9.
Wait a minute. You're saying who would get to 9-9?
The pitcher that's pitching Wednesday if it goes to Game 5.
Oh, okay. Keuchel could get to 9-9 for the season today.
Yeah, he was 8-8 at the end of the year, but he lost
in the postseason.
In the playoffs. Yeah, so he's 8-9. So if he loses Game 5, he'll be 9-9. And there's so many connections that got Paul DeYoung that plays for the Cardinals. He's a shortstop. He wears number 12. The Cardinals are going for their 12th championship. So I kind of think, that could be the piece that we're missing.
Well, the Cardinals, again, just with the alphabetical order, it sums 115, Game 7's 11 weeks and 5 days after the manager's birthday. It's very possible. So, I hear you.
Their manager, Mike Shields, he wears the number 8. And, 8 is 19th prime. So.
All right, that's a good point.
It's a lot. It's kind of. It's a big riddle, but it's kind of leaning after he knocked that sign out, and he knocked the M. M is the 13th letter. They went down 1-3. Now they're going to come back Game 5. I think that's where they're going with it.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, man. I appreciate the observation. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Bye. All right. See you. Okay, so Keuchel's actually 8-8 for the season because he got a no decision in that postseason game. So if he lost, he would become 8-9. He hasn't gotten that decision. He's 8-9. If he lost, he'd be 8-9. And he could get that 74th combined loss of his career, St. Louis 74. So, I think this one's a little bit hairy here. This right here screams Braves, but there's just a few other things on the board. Keuchel, the possibility of going back to SunTrust Park, the fact that St. Louis has that strong 115 connection. So, I think we'll be able to figure out the World Series once we get past this first round. We'll be able to look at the remaining puzzle pieces because a lot of these narratives that are hanging around will be out. So, if Astros do go down today, remember today the thing the Astros had going against them was the 56. You got the 56 date numerology, Morton on the mound, who helped the Astros win the World Series in their 56th season. Zach Greinke, 56. So I was saying, this one, for my man out there who took the Astros, I'd love to see him come back and win for you. But if Astros do lose today, I'm pretty sure they'll close this thing out tomorrow 3-1. Just some symbolism to Charlie Morton, the former Astro there. If they There's still plenty of game left. So, but if Astros don't win today, yeah, let's I'll post these notes again. I wouldn't say that there's any absolute one-way street riddles today. I'd say there's some pretty strong riddles that are more likely to come through. I wouldn't, again, if you guys had a great weekend, it's good to just hang on to your money for a little bit and be patient and think about things. Each day you don't have to gamble. You can always research and further take notes and, wait till the next one-way read comes. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach. Hey, it's Fair Enough up here in North Dakota. Hey, listen, what's a good channel? What do you bet on? I mean, what is a good channel to bet on? I mean,
so 5 Dimes. 5 Dimes is a reliable website that will pay you. 5 Dimes.
5 Dime?
5 Dimes. Yeah.
5 Dime. DIME?
S at the end. 5 Dimes.
Yeah, it's like a dime, like a nickel, penny, quarter. Dime.
Exactly. The number 5 and the word dimes. Here, I'll put it on the screen right here. 5dimes.eu.
5 Dime you on right now? Okay.
This is it.
Let me get to YouTube here real quick.
If you just type in the number 5 and write out dimes like coins in your pocket, 5dimes.eu. .eu. That's the one.
.eu. Got it, brother. Thanks, man.
All right. Yep. Take care. Okie dokie. Caller?
Hey, Zach. What's going on, man? Hey, great show today, man. So, I heard what you just said. No totally one-sided reads, but strong riddles altogether, all right?
There's some good riddles on the board, so.
Yeah. And we're leaning Dodgers. We're leaning...
I'm leaning Dodgers. I am leaning Dodgers, and I am... That Braves game, I personally wouldn't mess with the Braves game today. I'll put it that way. I wouldn't mess with the Braves game.
And you're leaning Yankees.
Uh-huh. And I am leaning Yankees.
Okay. Hey, thank you, Zach. I appreciate it, brother.
All right, welcome in. Take care. Okay. So, yeah, and I'm excited for these series to wrap up so that we can... I think we'll be able to pin down the World Series after we get past this round. There's just too many... There's too many riddles this year, so it's like I don't know how to choose. So I'm going to publish these notes. I'm going to take a little break because I haven't eaten anything yet today. I got a headache. I'm tired, and we'll do a Monday Night Football live stream. How about 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern? So about a 2-hour break. We'll come back. We'll do Monday Night Football. I want to look at a few more things. And I'll scan the NHL games, too, in case there's some good one there. For the NHL, if you can find a nice points riddle, where I've gotten burned so far this year in the NHL is where I saw a good riddle, but there wasn't points involved. The games where the points are there, the games are coming through. Just like yesterday with the Islanders. So, NHL's points. And that's why I said once we get deeper into the NHL season, when teams rack up more points, it just gets easier. So often when a team's facing an opponent and their gematria equals the amount of points they can pick up, it goes that way at least 3 times out of 4. So, and that's a good winning ratio. If you're winning at 75%, you're doing well. And so if we're a little bit more patient with the NHL season, we're going to get a lot more of those. But even at the beginning of the part of the year, you can find the head-to-head with the points. Just like yesterday, Islanders were going for those 78th points versus the opponent. New York 78 where the game was. It's Sunday, the day of the week that equals 78. There was a couple other things there. So, and just like the Penguins had a great points riddle this weekend. I mean, we really nailed that game. Going for their 27th win. The final score was 2-7. So I'll try and find some good NHL ones too. Let's wrap it up here with the Jeremy White call. What's up, Jeremy?
Hey, Zach. I just had some things that I found that I was researching during the live stream. Are y'all still going?
Yeah, we're still going. I'm listening.
Okay. Did you see who got inducted to the Chiefs Ring of Honor yesterday during their game?
Somebody called in and mentioned the name Waters.
Yeah, Brian Waters. He wears number 54.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was a 6-time All-Pro guard for the Chiefs, but he started his career for 1 year with the Cowboys and ended it in 2013, again with the Cowboys.
And then we had the 5 injured, 4 dead in the bar shooting in Tequila, and Tequila makes me think of Mexico, like Texas. Okay.
Yeah, there was the Brown Waters guy getting in the Ring of Honor, number 54, and they released the names of the suspects in the Tequila shooting.
Oh, really?
I was looking at that. One is called Javier Alatorre, who's 23 years old, and the other one's called Hugo Villanueva Morales, who is 29 years old. And Alatorre is in custody, but the other guy's at large. But Alatorre equals 54.
Okay, I'm gonna do some research on that. Those are good observations. I see that I see the ritual came 33 weeks after his 42nd birthday yesterday. Brian Waters.
Oh, for Waters.
33 weeks after the 42nd birthday. And he's born on the 39th day of the year, and SNF's 39, and then his name equals 167, the 39th prime, like how SNF's 39, Mahomes had 39 pass attempts last night. So, yeah, that's a great observation.
Waters was born February 18th.
Right.
Isn't that 59?
Oh, wait, you're right. My math's bad. It's the 49th day of the year. 49th day of the year. You're right.
Yeah.
49th day of the year. Yeah, you're right. His name equals 49 like NFL. Brian Waters, 49.
4 dead, 9 shot. There's kind of like a 9-4 in that.
That's true.
Tequila story.
That's true.
I noticed that the word tequila and chief, like the singular chief, has a lot of overlap, 31 and 104.
Right.
But yeah, the suspects, there's some other numbers in their names. Hugo Villanueva Morales equals 253, which is the 22nd triangular.
Huh. Okay.
And my last thing that I found was, I was like just looking under news stories with tequila, and I found that Michael Jordan recently released a new tequila line with like 4 other NBA owners called Cincora, and it says like the word comes from 5 and gold. The Spanish words for 5 and gold, cinco and oro.
Huh.
But anyway, Jordan equals 100, his name.
Okay, 100th NFL season, okay.
And then, Jordan 23. What else was it about this? I was just like, I don't know, it seems possibly related that Jordan comes out with this.
Right, I'll look at that. Yeah, I'll do some decoding and see what I see. But yeah, you found some good numbers.
But yeah, the title of the liquor is called Cincoro. It has a lot of Packers and Chiefs numbers, 77, 41, 112, 40.
How do you spell it?
Cincoro.
Okay. Huh. Okay. Yeah, there's probably a deeper riddle here, so yeah, you're on it, man. I'm gonna think more about it.
We just gotta, like you said, we need the Aaron Rodgers tequila.
Exactly. If they start advertising the State Farm and Aaron Rodgers tequila, I know it's over. So.
Or Cherry Jones tequila.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly, man.
Yeah, that's what I found. So.
All right. Great work. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Take care, Jamie. I love Jeremy, man. He reminds me of Southern people because they're just more chill and laid back. I'm like a stereotypical Well, I guess I'm West Coast. I guess some people say I'm more like a New York personality. Just like, slow down, Zach. Anyway. All right, let's leave it there. I'm going to post the baseball notes. 2 hours. We'll come back. We'll do the Monday Night Football live stream. See if we can nail that one. We'll do the fantasy players with that one too. And I'll scan NHL between now and then, see if I can find some good NHL points riddle. There's probably one there. All right. Got to eat some food. So see you guys in a bit. Have a great rest of your